stakeholders in the Musco liquidation process. Remember, Musco is the Moi University Savings and Credit Society. Regarding that particular issue, why the Commissioner of Cooperatives has failed to reinstate certification for resumption of back office operations by the Moi University Savings and Credit Society, Musco, in line with the recommendation made by the Senate Standing Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industrialization in July the year 2021, following its consideration of the petition to the Senate regarding the liquidation of Musco, and also whether the Cabinet Secretary could explain what the government is doing to facilitate full implementation of the recommendations of the task force appointed to review the status of the Moi University Savings Credit Cooperative in liquidation. Currently at the entrance of the Senate chambers is the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Katuri Murungi, who has already made his way into the chamber to preside over this morning's sitting. Allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast brought to you by PBU in partnership with KBC. Good morning.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to be owned with abundant favor and blessings as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We sing guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under the deliberation in so just a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, ringing the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the prayer has been said and the chair taken, but the House is facing a quorum hitch. Members of the Senate are yet to make their way into the chamber in a way that the House will be termed to have quorated. So much as we are already seeing members inside the chambers, that number has not quorated yet. As provided for in the House Standing Order number 39 and 40, at least 15 senators shall be seated in the chambers at the commencement of a sitting of the House for it to be deemed to have quorated. And if that is not present, then that will mean that the House has a quorum hitch, and that will necessitate that current or that particular quorum bell that is underway for them or for those who may be within the precincts of Parliament to be able to understand that the House has not quorated yet, and that the business cannot commence or the House sitting cannot commence, and that therefore their presence inside the chamber is highly needed, and also for them to be able to hasten their steps to join their colleagues inside the chamber. The whip from the minority side, who is also the senator for Nairobi County or Nairobi City County, Honorable Edwin Sifuna, we've just seen him making his way out of the chamber, of course, to be able to whip members to make their way into the chamber and enable the House raise that much needed quorum for the business that is lined up for consideration this morning to be able to commence. Now, you will recall that last Wednesday, being a Wednesday that the senators normally host the Cabinet Secretary for them to respond to various concerns that are normally forwarded to them prior their appearance before the Senate. the House did not manage to raise the quorum after the bell rang for 20 minutes. That is both the two rounds of the quorum bell. The 10-minute quorum bell lapsed, and the House did not manage to raise that quorum, much as the Senate had invited the Cabinet Secretary to appear before the House to respond to those concerns that had been forwarded to the ministry. Remember, these matters are normally concerns from either the county, inter-county, national, regional, or even international levels. And when the Cabinet Secretary appears before the Senate, then that is the time that the senators can be able to canvass those matters comprehensively, as the ministry or the relevant ministry is before them, and they can respond to those concerns comprehensively. So this morning, if the House manages to raise that quorum, if the situation does not replicate itself, the last week's Wednesday situation does not replicate itself, and again, if the Cabinet Secretary also shows up, then they will be hosting, or they will be hearing from the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Wycliffe Oparanya. So as we wait for the members to correct, then we shall continue to take a look at the other business that is also, or the other priority business that the members will also be considering this morning. Much of the business that is lined up for consideration here regards motions. One of the motions is the motion regarding the implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya. This is a motion that is moved by the Honorable Senator for Murang'a, Senator Joe Nyutu. And in this particular motion, the Senate will be seeking to resolve that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, to develop and implement an automated good conduct certificate system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. Also incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records, as well as establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And finally, also scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. This is a motion that is part of the priority business that once the House corrects and commences its sitting, then this business, if time allows, will be considered. If you're just joining us, that the House is about to commence its sitting this Wednesday morning, the 6th of August, 2025. However, much as the prayer has been said and the chair taken, the House is facing a quorum hitch. Currently, the quorum bell is underway. This is, of course, to alert the members of the Senate who may be within the precincts of Parliament, but are yet to get into the chamber to quicken their steps and join their colleagues. At least 15 senators should be seated inside the chambers for the House to be deemed to have quorated at the commencement of a sitting. If that is not present, then that would necessitate the current quorum bell that is underway. And of course, we shall also be waiting for the direction from the Speaker to indicate whether the quorum has been achieved for the sitting to commence, or we shall be going into the second round of the 10-minute quorum bell. Remember, last week, Wednesday, the Senate failed to raise that much-needed quorum for the sitting to commence and was forced to adjourn. So this morning, we believe that the House shall correct because the business that was to be transacted failed last Wednesday. Good morning.
We have quorum members, so Sergeant Atabs, you can stop the bell now. Clerk, let know the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, this morning we're expecting the CS, Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSMEs Development. And we have only one question from Senator Professor Margaret Kamar. And from my seat, I'm told the CS is around the corner, so he's coming here directly. That's what I'm being informed. So, Senator Professor, is she around? I saw her this morning. I am looking, yeah? I am looking for Senator Professor Margaret, and also the CS, both of them. I'm looking for both of them. Honorable Senators, the CS is now in the House, so CS, Honorable Poran, I want to welcome you to the Senate. You are an only timer in the Senate, you have appeared severally before this House, so karibuni sana. So request the move of this question, the Senator Professor Margaret Kamar. Can you ask your questions? There are several, there are one but several questions. You ask them together, then the CS will respond. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask my questions to the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise on the revival of the Moi University Savings Cooperative Society. Mr. Speaker, this is a question that was here from 2020 in this House. I would like to ask the CS from B first, and I'll talk A last. When will the Cabinet Secretary compel the Commissioner of Cooperatives to grant reinstatement of the certification for Musco so that the society can be able to mobilize membership and resources for the back office operations in line with the recommendation of this Senate through the committee on the 28th July 2021. Can the Cabinet Secretary order forensic audit of the liquidation account of specifically income and rent collection from Musco Towers and Plaza, respectively, and the related expenditures during the liquidation? Can the Cabinet Secretary order the suspension of any further withdrawals of monies from all Musco accounts awaiting the forensic audit? Can the Cabinet Secretary also set up a task force, another task force because there was one before, to, among others, one, finalize the implementation of the recommendations of the Senate Committee on the Reinstatement and Certification for the commencement of the back office operations? These may include the personal presence of the CS during the said certification and commencing of the operations for the seriousness to be felt by the aggrieved members. Follow-up, can the CS also follow up on the implementation of the first task force report? 3, can the CS set up a task force to look into the welfare of persons affected by the liquidation, issues of justice and public interest on the status of withdrawers, retirees, orphans, widows, and widowers, including compensation for the deceased members by the
Professor
CIC
Margaret
insurance?
Kamar, the questions I have are totally different from what you are reading. Have you sneaked a different on the paper to this house? You know, professors can do anything possible.
Mr. Speaker, professors are horrible because they handled several drafts.
I know.
So the last draft, which we agreed with the Secretariat, with your Secretariat, Mr. Speaker, has 4. So let me go back to that because I think that's what went to the CS. I apologize, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, A, would the Cabinet Secretary...
On the senators, Professor is quite in order. Professor, go ahead and read into what you've been given.
Thank
Professor
you.
can never be wrong with whatever she's doing.
Thank you. Drafting is allowed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, A, could the Cabinet Secretary order a forensic audit on the liquidation account of Moi University Savings and Credit Society, Musco, in liquidation and disclose the findings of the audit? B, what steps has the Ministry taken to facilitate the involvement of the SACCO Societies Regulation Authority, County Government of Uasin Gishu, Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, Musco members, and other relevant stakeholders in Musco liquidation? I'm happy the former governor who was involved is now a senator here. C, why has the Commissioner of Cooperatives failed to reinstate certification for the resumption of the back office operations by the Moi University Savings and Credit Society in line with the recommendations made by the Senate Standing Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industrialization in July 2021, following its consideration of the petition to the Senate regarding the liquidation of Musco. Finally, would the CS also explain what the government is doing to facilitate full implementation of the recommendation of the task force appointed by Gazette Notice number 16776 of the 8th December 2023 to review the status of the Moi University Savings and Credit Cooperative, now in liquidation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Professor Margaret. CS cooperatives, I hope the answers you have are for these questions now, learned the second time, and not from the draft. So if you have the right answers,
Mr. Speaker,
proceed and respond.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I have the answers to all the questions, that even the supplementary questions that he was asking. But, Mr. Speaker, if we listen carefully what Senator Professor Margaret Kamar was asking, I want, instead of reading the question and the answers, because this is before you, you can easily get the gist of the question and answers. I want to clearly talk about what I'm doing generally to address some of these issues that Professor Kamar is raising. There are 3 or 4 issues that, Mr. Speaker, the professor has raised. He has raised the issue of...
Honorable CS, is it possible to handle them as they are content? You start with the A, with the Cabinet Secretary, on the forensic audit, you respond about that, then B, C, and D.
And that's what I was coming to.
Okay, okay, CS.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you.
He raised the issue of the task force. He raised the issue of the involvement of the stakeholders. He raised the issue of the implementation of the task force recommendation. Those are the critical issues, and of course, a restatement of the management of the institution. On question number 1, where she's requesting for a forensic audit, Mr. Speaker, what the ministry did, it appointed a task force. And I want to take this opportunity to table the report of the task force. It is here, Mr. Speaker. That could answer question 1, that I instituted a task force, and within that task force, I have involved in that task force, which was appointed on 8th December 2023. All the stakeholders were involved. The university, Moi University representative was involved. The county government representative, the private sector, the ministry picked a quantity surveyor and architect. The cooperative bank, that is the main bank of the institution, was involved. The university, the neighboring university, Eldoret University representative was represented. We picked on prominent lawyers within that community. SASRA, within the supervisory authority within the ministry, was involved. And a member of the ministry was also involved. And Mr. Speaker, I want also to come out and highlight the recommendations within that report. The first recommendation, Your Speaker, was that the Cabinet Secretary should facilitate the immediate lifting of the liquidation, reinstatement of a certificate of registration, and appoint the interim committee to oversee the revival of the SACCO. Number two, the government to inject 500 million shillings to revive the institution. Number three, DCI to investigate suspected theft and misappropriation of funds and prefer criminal charges against the person of interest if found culpable. Number four, investigate identified government officers and external auditors for impropriety and negligence of duty. Number five, Cooperative Bank, the secured creditor, be requested to consider writing off all penalties and interest on Musco loans, offer a moratorium for 3 years, and zero rate all outstanding facilities. All monies should be channeled through the Cooperative Bank Eldoret branch. And lastly, the contractor be requested to write off any outstanding liabilities and withdraw legal cases against the SACCO. I brought out those recommendations clearly so that I can inform the Honorable House what measures we are taking to make sure that those particular implementations are taken. Mr. Speaker, sir, what the ministry is doing, because these issues that are being raised about Moi SACCO, Moi University SACCO, is rampant everywhere within the SACCO movement in this country. And what the ministry is doing to address these issues once for all, one, is that in this particular house, the ministry has introduced the cooperative bill that is before you. And this cooperative bill is supposed to address some of the governance issues that arose in the Moi SACCO. The second one that the ministry is doing is to review the SACCO Act, and the ministry has appointed a committee of experts to look at the entire SACCO Act of 2008 so that the weak links within that act are really addressed, especially making SASRA, the supervisory authority, to be a strong institution, because this particular institution, Mr. Speaker, lacks capacity. So we need to build capacity in that institution so that it is able to supervise all the SACCOs. And administratively, what the minister has done has also issued a circular to all SACCOs to ensure that all SACCOs do not invest in non-core business, because all SACCOs that have come up with the construction of buildings have gone bust. And then we have also issued circulars to make sure that any borrowing must be approved by the Commission of Cooperatives, and then also issued a circular that returns, all SACCOs must make returns to ensure that they are audited every year. And lastly, we have improved oversight by making sure that members work within delegate systems so that there are fewer people during the AGM so that they are able to transact their businesses. For example, if a SACCO has 20,000 people, it is impossible to have 20,000 transacting an AGM. But specifically what I have done for Moi University is that, one, I have removed the liquidator who was there. We have temporarily appointed a new liquidator who will work closely with also a counter liquidator appointed by the county government. Before the end of this month, I'm going to meet all stakeholders of the circle to make sure that we come up with a revival strategy. So, Mr. Speaker, that's what I have done.
Senator Professor Margaret Kamar, you have two supplementary questions to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will start with the last one on the liquidator. In the response, the CS has said that he has appointed a new liquidator. The current cooperative legal framework states that you can then appeal after that within 30 days. I am aware that actually this cooperative appealed at that time but was not responded to. So is the CS giving room for the cooperative to then use this room for the with the new liquidator to appeal reinstatement? That is one. The second one, the second question was has to do with what could have been my supplement. Yes, what the members who have been affected by liquidation. We have the deceased members, we have widows, we have orphans, we have people who have lost a lot. How are those going to be addressed? Are they going to be addressed at this stage or later? Because we are liquidating also a cooperative that has a lot of assets that have not been accounted for. Some within the university, some outside the university, some plots that have not been sold. Can the minister tell us how he's going to approach the issue of the deceased and their families? That's my second question. Thank you.
Waziri.
Mr. Speaker, there is a window of appeal of 30 days to the Cabinet Secretary. Unfortunately, there was no appeal when the liquidator was appointed. And if there is no appeal, then it means that the appointment proceeds.
Oh, sorry, Professor. You want to inform the CS? Well, I thought he can respond, and then if you are not maybe satisfied, you can raise another supplementary question. Let him first finish.
I will not mind question of information. I will not mind.
Now, first finish with what you have.
Yes, I was clearly saying that there is a provision for the appeal. And I can give you a statement on the appeal. Mr. Speaker, the current legal framework does not provide for the reinstatement of registration for a corporate society whose registration has been cancelled. Rather, it permits an appeal against the cancellation order issued by the Commissioner to be lodged with the Cabinet Secretary within 30 days, with a further right to appeal to the High Court. Where no appeal is filed within the stipulated period, the liquidation process proceeds in accordance with the law. It is further noted that the Insolvent Act does not provide for reinstatement of a certificate of registration once cancelled. This position is consistent with international best practices, which generally does not provide for reinstatement under such circumstances. So I wanted clearly because I was expecting that supplementary question, so I was prepared. Secondly, I have clearly stated that we are going to meet the stakeholders before the end of this month. And within those stakeholders, we are going to come up with a revival plan. Within that revival plan, we are going to address the issues that Honourable Member has raised. How do we compensate? There is a building already, a very big building worth millions of shillings. Maybe one of the revival plan is to dispose of that particular building so that we are able to compensate the affected members, as pointed out by the member. And I will closely involve Honorable Margaret Kamar in all this process so that we move together to revive this cooperative.
Senator Professor Margaret.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to inform the Minister that during the investigations, actually, we discovered that there was an appeal that was not addressed, but it is in the documents of the Senate. But I'm very happy with the CS that he's going to have a revival plan. I think then the past will go and will move forward. Thank you, CS. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Senator Mandago Jackson. Maybe you must be private to what has been happening. Let's get your supplementary question.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Yes, I am private to what was happening. Actually, when the Honorable Minister was busy with the matters of Kakamega County, I was busy sorting out this matter of Moi University, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first let me thank the CS and the Ministry for, the problem with the tutor here is, anyway. Honorable Speaker, for first the decision to revive, but I'm happy that Senator Kamara has informed the CS that indeed there was an appeal on a CS. It is quite unfortunate that the information it seems to have been given is not accurate. And I think probably the officers who colluded with the Commissioner of Cooperatives, SASRA, Musco management, Cooperative Bank could have also continued to give you misleading information. Indeed, there was an appeal. What we are seeing is a continuous systematic cover-up of what happened. My question, Honorable Speaker, to the CS, I've heard him say there is a recommendation that government injects 500 million. Before we talk of government injecting 500 million, my question would be, when is the government going to submit the deductions that were deducted from members and were not submitted to the cooperatives, contrary to the law? Part of the problems of Musco was that member savings were being deducted, members' loans were being deducted, but the money was not being remitted to the cooperative, and that is why the cooperative also ended up where it was. Number two, Honorable Speaker, if you allow me as a stakeholder, is the CS has said he is replacing the liquidator. Who is going to take the responsibility of the messes the liquidator created before they left? And finally, Honorable Speaker, what is the Minister, Cabinet Secretary going to do? Allow me, Honorable Speaker, because this is a very serious matter. It has crippled the economy of that county. Just another 3 seconds, Honorable Speaker. What is the Cabinet Secretary going to do, number one, to increase the number of liquidators in this country? In fact, two things. We have only less than 5 liquidators who have been moving around, actually killing cooperatives. And we also have what we call receiver managers. There are less than 5 in this country. In fact, they are not. We should call them the cartels that are simply going to bury the cooperatives, Honorable Speaker. And what is the Cabinet Secretary going to do if he actually confirms he was misled by his officers that there was no appeal? Honorable Speaker. And I speak, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask my colleagues that when we bring the amendments of the Cooperative Act as the Committee for Trade, let us deal with this office called Commission of Cooperatives that has been responsible for the death of cooperatives in this country. Thank you.
I don't want to take more questions because yours are very substantive questions. So let the CS first answer your question.
Mr. Speaker, I know Honorable Mandako knows even much more than I know, but let me assure Honorable Mandako that I've been fairly briefed and I'm on this particular issue to see that it is actually resolved. Now, Mr. Speaker, deductions are done by the employer of cooperative members, and the employer of cooperative members is Moi University. This has been a problem in the entire SACCO sector, and the most culprits are the universities and county governments. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the issues that we are raising up, tightening it within the cooperative bill that is before this particular house. This issue is being addressed there so that the Commission of Cooperatives is given more powers to follow this deduction, because these deductions have contributed to collapse of many SACCOs, because members are deducted, but the affected institution divert the money to other use, which is actually irregular. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I have clearly stated that one of the recommendations that this particular report that I've tabled before the House is forwarded to the DCI to take appropriate action. That's another agency in government that is supposed to do a thorough investigation and prosecute those that we were involved in the mess of this particular SACCO. Number three, Mr. Speaker, we had a shortfall of staff. The ministry, as you are aware, it was established in 2022. So when some of the staff were moved from where cooperative moved from the Ministry of Agriculture, we had a shortfall, and I'm happy to announce here that we have been given the mandate to recruit more staff so that we will have now more liquidators. We have gone further now to make sure that any liquidation, we involve the Office of the Attorney General so that a proper process is followed, proper reporting is done. So that is what I have done. For the appeal, if the appeal was there, unfortunately, I was not in the office that time, and I can't pass the blame to whoever was in the office, but I take the responsibility that I will check if there was an appeal, and I will want to apologize if that appeal was not effected or was not addressed.
Honorable CS, you can write down, maybe I want to pick 3 or so questions. So your team can just write it down for you. Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to raise questions with the CS over a matter that was raised regarding his docket recently, just to provide some clarity to this House. Honorable Speaker, the Kenya Human Rights Commission released a report recently on the Hustler Fund, and they found that the fund was structurally flawed, economically unsustainable, politically compromised. And Honorable Speaker, they gave specific reasons for reaching that conclusion, including a 68.3% default rate, that for every 500 shillings that is borrowed, 340 shillings is lost, that there is no regulatory or legal framework for the recovery of that money if people refuse to pay, and that the Auditor General could not render an opinion because of unavailability of documentation. Honorable Speaker, the response from the ministry, instead of giving us their own data, was that that report was biased, politically motivated. Honorable Speaker, therefore this morning I want to ask the Honorable CS, Waziri, do you have alternative facts? What is the default rate? What is wrong with the figure that was given by the Kenya Human Rights Commission of 68.3%? Do you have a different figure? Is it not true that in fact for every 500 shillings that is borrowed, 340 is lost? Isn't it in fact true, Honorable Speaker, you can shed light, maybe from the perspective of the ministry, does there exist a legal or regulatory framework for recovery of money that is unpaid? And according to the ministry, therefore, Honorable Speaker, was the Auditor General able to audit this fund and render an opinion? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Senators, you know some of the questions you might ask might not get indirect response because the questions, and you look at the standing orders, you should ask a supplementary question related to the principal questions that were asked to the ministry. So you might not get indirect answers, and I'm just a bit lenient also to allow such questions. But the other senators kindly stick to this principal question. Senator Derito John, Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Waziri, I don't know whether you are aware whether Afya Sacco is cash-strapped, because members, when they take loan, for example, a member takes a loan of 1 million. Every time they are told you cannot get all the lump sum, you will be paid 30,000 per visit, meaning you'll have to go to Afya Sacco 30 times or more times to get your 1 million. And because you have said you're going to inject about 500 million to Musco, do you have any intention of injecting money to Afya Sacco? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator, just a minute, CS. Senator Kadri Muma.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to ask a question, and welcome CS Wycliffe Oparanya. CS, in your response, you indicated that one of the recommendations given is that the government should inject 500 million into the SACCO. CS, as you're aware, the contributions to SACCOs are actually by SACCO members. So when these SACCOs collapse, and many of them are collapsing, shouldn't government be focusing on a stronger regulatory framework? Shouldn't we be putting in place mechanisms to actually penalize and hold people personally responsible for losses of money instead of taking taxpayers' monies to inject in SACCOs? Are you going to inject similar amounts for Cusco, into Cusco, which has lost billions of monies for members? Can this really be a viable route of getting SACCOs to work, or it is another loss of public money that should otherwise go elsewhere? Shouldn't we hold those who, whether it is employers or the managers in SACCOs, shouldn't they go to jail and be held personally accountable to ensuring that monies that they're in charge of are held responsibly?
At least yours is related to the subject matter. Congratulations. Honorable CS, you cannot respond to the three. But
Mr.
just
Speaker,
try your best.
Mr. Speaker, let me address the first issue raised by Honorable Spooner, and that's quite a different question. I want to plead with the House that you allow me to come next Wednesday to give a comprehensive report on the operations of Hustler Fund, because I think Hustler Fund has been misunderstood. And within that response that I will issue on Tuesday, I will address each of the questions that Honorable Spooner has addressed.
Very well, but the Senate management will give you the right time that you will appear.
Okay, I will be happy to receive that correspondence.
Yeah, will receive correspondence
and deal with it comprehensively.
Okay.
Yeah. Secondly, the issue of Afya Sacco. I'm aware that Afya Sacco has been having liquidity problems. But as I've mentioned here, some of these liquidity problems are occasioned by county governments, because most of the members of the Afya Sacco are medical staff who are devolved. Now, county governments, several county governments have deducted members' dues, but they have not remitted them in millions. And this has created liquidity problems for SACCOs. And this is what affects the Moi Sacco, Moi University Sacco. This is what is affecting Afya Sacco. And this also affecting others. And as I have said, this issue is clearly addressed in the cooperative bill that is before you. So I'm happy that now you have noted how serious this matter is. When you come to considering this matter, honorable members, I will request that you address this issue squarely in the law, so that those institutions that deduct money from SACCO members and they are not able to remit, or they divert those funds, serious action is taken against them. On the issues raised by Honorable Muma, the 500 million is not an injection that the government is going to do. It's a recommendation. It's a mere recommendation that the government should put in 500 million. But as a government, I will not go that route of making sure that we inject money in SACCOs that collapse, because with the limited resources, the government will not be able to do that. But what is critical is that we strengthen the supervisory authority, which is SASRA. Unfortunately, SASRA has been underfunded. And because of underfunding, it has no capacity sometimes to carry out regular supervision. And we want this particular sector to be self-regulating. So self-regulating, self-sustainable. So if it's that, we are saying that levy collected from SACCOs for supervision purposes should be kept by SASRA. And this is one of the amendments that we are proposing within the SACCO Act, because this money is collected by SASRA and it has to be forwarded to the Treasury, and then the Treasury takes time to return back the same money. And it's a levy, it's not a tax. This issue has already been addressed by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Treasury, and I think is addressing that particular issue. So, with what I have said, Honourable Member, we want to strengthen SASRA, which is the regulatory authority. Commercial bank, central bank supervises commercial banks. SASRA supervises the SACCOs. But SASRA has no strength or has no capacity as central bank because of funding. And I've told you where the funding is supposed to come to improve that supervisory authority. The issue of Cusco, I don't want to comment on it very much because the officers who are involved in irregularities at Cusco are already before court. And the court now is dealing with that process. We have the investigation, we have already the reports. People whom they think are capable have already been arraigned before court, and the matter is now a court process. Let us wait for the outcome. But as I close up, Mr. Speaker, I think I would request that this House, when you look at, when you address the issues of the Cooperative Act 2024, please address this issue of governance within the cooperative movement, so that, and then the question of supervision, so that, and the question of deduction of members' dues. These are the three areas that have actually weakened the SACCO movement. If we seal the loopholes, I'm very certain that we shall have a very strong SACCOs in this country. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Wabua Enoch. We are taking another round of 3 questions.
I thank you, the Speaker. Speaker, every time you mention Moi University, I have more than a passing interest. I'm a former student there, and Senator Kamar is my teacher. When the senator says that he is satisfied with the response from the CS, I get a bit worried, because that response, the Speaker, from my seat, and this is my question, is based on misleading information. On the admission of the CS, he did not know that an appeal had been lodged on the matter of Musco. And on the basis of that information, he has crafted a recovery path for the SACCO. Now that he knows otherwise, is that recovery path still relevant? Because the Speaker, I've heard him say that some of the things that he wants to do will be perhaps there's a proposal to put in some money. There is also a proposal to liquidate assets belonging to the SACCO. But if there is an existing appeal, would that recovery path still remain as is? And lastly, Mr. Speaker, now that I have the floor and he has committed that one day he's going to come here and speak to us about the ASLA funds, Speaker, it may turn out actually that what he knew before he became the CS is the truth, and perhaps what he knows now about the ASLA fund could also be misleading. The Speaker will wait to hear from him.
Senator Enoch Wambua, you cannot preempt the report that will be brought to this House by the CS. You wait for the report and then you can criticize the report. Senator Mongatana Danson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I'm so happy to hear that there are plans to revive Musco. Mr. Speaker, 2 of my brothers, who are very prominent members, both one outside and one in Kenya, they went to study there. They began their academic journeys there in Moi University. And there's more than passing interest in Musco. So I'm glad to hear that at least there are plans for revival, because the losses are massive. Just two quick clarifications from the minister. I wanted to know how much money exactly is involved, because he has been talking, but he has not mentioned or referred to any figures that the liquidator is handling. I also wanted to know, this liquidation of Musco did not happen overnight. There must have been a process of bad performance that was reported to the ministry. So can the minister tell us in terms of future or protecting other cooperatives from going down that path, what steps is he taking to make sure that that doesn't happen to other cooperatives? Is there a process or a method of checking what is happening and actions being taken so that we don't have the cooperative movement going down the drain? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Modigi Alexander Munyi.
Asante Bwana Spika. Swali langu kwa wasiri wa cooperative, kwa vyama, mambo ya vyama vya ushirika unajaribu kurainisha, sio kama zamani, lakini mambo zingine kama mambo ya agriculture, mambo ya livestock iko na shinda katika Mount Kenya, haswa Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Meru. After hii serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kuanza kazi ilisema maziwa itatoka shilingi 50. Lakini saa hii katika hizo county na zingine maziwa inatoka shilingi 45. Na shinda ile iliyoko, chakula ya ng'ombe, dawa, kila kitu yote mkulima anaumia kwa sababu ya hizo vitu iko juu. Utaweza kusaidia namna gani kwa sababu directive iko na unajua iko. Hiyo maziwa iwe hairudi chini kuliko shilingi 50. Na sio hiyo Mount Kenya peke yake. Sisi tukiwa kamati ya agriculture tulitembea Bungoma, mambo ya ajabu katika Kenya, lita moja inatoka shilingi 34. Kwa hivyo ni kama Kenya. Bwana Waziri, unaweza kusaidia mkulima namna gani? Najua siku hizi pali mingi hakuna kazi, watu wengi wamerudi mashambani kulima. Na mambo ya kulima, hakuna mashamba ya kulima, watu wamerudi kwa kulima mambo ya maziwa na mambo ya agriculture. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Lastly but not the least, Senator Chuta Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Well, let me thank the CS for being with us here today and the many years service he has given to this country. But I wanted to know from the Minister, how will SASRA continue to oversight other SACCOs, considering its role in the multi-million losses of Cusco? And the Minister, the CS, should tell us, is there any insurance or guarantees from the government if the money is lost? Thank you very much.
Honorable CS, you can answer those questions. I think that's the last set of questions from the members this morning.
Yeah, the question from Mheshimiwa Mugatana, who is my best friend. I have already tabled a report here. I did a very detailed report. And this detailed report will show you the weaknesses in each of the areas.
Senator Mugatana, when I was in school, I was told by my teacher, when you ask a question, you listen, you become attentive to listen. So Senator Gataya, stop misreading the... Okay.
Honorable Mugatana, when you are not listening, I said that you are my good friend. Yeah, you are my good friend. So I wanted to answer you. First of all, there was this issue of appeal. I have admitted that I've not looked at the appeal. And even if the cabinet secretary never acted on the appeal, there is a provision that if the cabinet secretary do not act on the appeal, you have an alternative of going to the High Court to pursue the matter with the High Court. So this is another open avenue that whoever was appealing to the cabinet secretary, he would have proceeded to the High Court if there was no response from the cabinet secretary. I've never got any correspondence from the High Court that the issue is being addressed there. But I've admitted that maybe it was an oversight if the appeal was received by the cabinet secretary and it was not addressed. Secondly, the issue of Honorable Mkatana, I have clearly pointed out that I have tabled here a report that was presented to me by the task force. And within that report, it addresses quite a number of areas, and I will plead with you that if you read the report, you can now assess yourself how much money that you feel, how much money was misappropriated. But as I've said, the confirming of the money misappropriated, that is the responsibility of another agency. And I've said clearly that this is an issue that we are going to refer to the DCI to take the appropriate action. The issue of protecting others, how do we? I've clearly said here that we have the cooperative bill before you, and within that, the government has made quite a number of provisions that will make sure that the supervisory of SACCOs is strengthened. And one of the recommendations is to strengthen SASRA. SASRA is underfunded. An institution, if it is underfunded, is not able to carry out its responsibilities. So it will be up to this House to help the ministry to make sure that SASRA is appropriately funded so that it is able to carry out its responsibility. Nina mheshimiwa ambaye ameongea mambo ya kilimo kutoka kule Embu na mambo ya mifuko, na wazi amesema ya kwamba ati bei ya maziwa saa hii ni shilingi 50. Hii ni bei ambayo serikali imeweka, na kabla serikali iweke hii bei ya shilingi 50, wakulima wa mifuko walikuwa wanalipwa chini ya shilingi 40. Wengi wa wakulima walikuwa wanalipwa kati ya shilingi 35 mpaka 38. Ndio serikali ikaamua tayari kupitia kwa shirika la KCC la serikali, bei ya chini kabisa ni bei shilingi 50, lakini sangine wanalipa zaidi ya hii 50. Ni kwa sababu waliweka bei ya 50, yale mashirika ya binafsi kuendelea kuwa kwa biashara pia walisongesha bei yao kutoka shilingi 38 kwenda kwa shilingi 50. Kwa hivyo serikali tayari imesaidia wakulima wale ambao walikuwa wanalipa bei ya 38, sasa wameenda kwa bei ya 50. Hapo serikali imefanya kazi kusongeza hiyo, lakini nataka nimjulishe mheshimiwa ya kwamba hii bei ya 50 hii bei inaenda kwa ushirika, the cooperative. Na cooperative pia hapo hiyo ina kazi yake ambayo inafanya kuleta hii maziwa pamoja na kusafirisha hii maziwa katika kwa factory. Na hiyo ina gharama. Kwa hivyo unapata mkulima amepata shilingi 45. Kwa sababu zile zingine 5 zinaenda kwa hizo services ambayo cooperative inafanya. Ndio kwa sababu unapata ni bei 50, lakini mkulima mwenyewe anapata shilingi 45. Bei ya chakula nina haki, wakulima wamekuja mbele yangu kusema bei ya chakula iko juu kabisa. Serikali ifanye maanani kuona ya kwamba bei iko chini. Juzi tumekuwa, rais amekuwa kule Meru na Mount Kenya dairy akapeana machine ya kutengeneza chakula, akapeana msaada kutoka kwa serikali ya shilingi milioni 200 ili Meru dairy waweze kutengeneza chakula cha ng'ombe ambayo sasa bei itakuwa chini, na serikali iko tayari kusaidia mashirika mengine kuona ya kwamba hii bei ya chakula iko chini. Na pia unajua ile miradi serikali inasaidia wakulima kwa kupeana mbolea ambao bei ni nafuu kwa shilingi 2,500. On the issue of SASRA, I have said here severally that we need to strengthen SASRA. That one I don't want to repeat it. But on the guarantee of losses of funds, we have introduced, and this issue is coming before you, honorable members, we are now introducing deposit guarantee fund within the amendment in the SACCO to protect SACCO members who are likely to lose their deposits when SACCOs go under receivership. Thank you.
Waziri, sawa nitakupea, lakini kwa I wanted to also, you know, once when you are chairing, sometimes you give an opinion. Several CS you have referred to this matter that SASRA has no capacity, because you are the CS in charge of SASRA. What is making SASRA to be weak, and that you cannot be able to sort out, especially is it financing? What is it that SASRA is not working? Because you know cooperative is the way to go nowadays. Every crop that we have should go the cooperative way. But if SASRA is weak and it is the regulator, so maybe you can give us commitment on the intentions. What do you intend to do to SASRA so that this body can have power and teeth, Honorable CS? But Honorable CS, before you answer me, huyu mjumbe wa Embu anakaa jaridhika na jibu lako, na ni mkulima wa maziwa.
Bwana Waziri, umejibu vizuri kusema kuna kiwanda itajengwa Meru ya kutengeneza chakula ndio bei irudi chini, na tunakumbuka hata rais wakati alikuwa Meru alisema mambo ya semen itakuwa natoka kama shilingi 1 ndio mkulima avaindike. Shinda ni wakati kulitangazwa na rais akasema lita 1 itakuwa natoka shilingi 50. Lakini Bwana Waziri, wakati umekuja hapa katika Kenya, watu wakiangalia kusema inafaa itoke shilingi 45 na hii shilingi 5 kuna mali itaenda, na mkulima unajua kwa na shinda kule mashinani tukua viongozi. Hakuna bali aliambua shilingi 5 kuna mali inaenda. Inaonekana hiyo ni kama kupotosha watu wa Kenya. Na tunakuheshimu kama unafanya kazi mzuri sana. Na tunajua utarainisha. Tafadhali ungesaidia mkulima wa maziwa awache kutaapika, kama chakula itarudi chini, wakati hiyo bei itarudi chini. Ndio mkulima anunue angalau shilingi 50, rais wa Kenya alisema. Asante Bwana Speaker.
The Honorable CS.
Mheshimiwa, nimesema Rais alitangaza ya kwamba mkulima atapata shilingi 50,000. Na jambo hilo lilifanyika karibu mwaka moja na nusu ambayo uliopita. Na sasa mimi nataka nikuhakikishie hili jambo nitaangalia ya kwamba mkulima apate hiyo 50. Tuwe na njia ambayo mkulima atapata hiyo 50, kwa sababu rais mwenyewe alisema ya kwamba ati mkulima apate 50. Hakusema cooperative ipate 50 alafu ikate. Hilo ndio jambo tunataka tuangalie. Na hiyo nakubali na wewe. Mambo ya SASRA, Mr. Speaker. SASRA is a supervisory authority. We want this sector to be self-regulating. SASRA charges a percentage of the deposit as a fee to carry out supervision. But where the problem has been this levy has been treated by Treasury as a tax. So it is collected by SASRA, taken to Treasury, and then Treasury has to return it to SASRA. That process takes time. And as you know, any levy in this country is not a tax. It's retained, even the fuel levy is retained to carry out what it's supposed to do with the relevant authority. So that's why we are saying that this levy, because we have been collecting, SASRA has been collecting around 800 million Kenya shillings to carry out its supervisory work. But the money that it gets back from the Treasury after collecting 800 has never exceeded 500 million Kenya shillings. So they have a gap, entire gap of 300 million that the money it has collected, but it has not been remitted there. That is the administrative bottleneck that has been there, which we have now discussed with Treasury, that this money, once collected, must be retained by SASRA and be used for the intended purposes. I'm hopeful that this year that will be implemented, and that will be one way of making SASRA financially strong to carry out its responsibility. Thank you.
That's a good response. Honorable Senators, that's the end of the questions from the honorable members. So, Honorable CS, I want to thank you for appearing before the Senate this morning. You have satisfactorily answered the questions from the members of the Senate, and you have referred only one matter about the ASRA fund that will come back to this House with a full report. So I think you can now have your leave because we are done with you. Thank you very much indeed for not shying away from appearing before the Senate. Okay, thank you and your team. PS Kiremi, thank you very much indeed, and the entire team. Next on the clerk.
Order number 8, motion, reconstitution of the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare.
Majority Linda.
Yeah, there was a communication.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the following motion, which is a reconstitution of the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare, that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on the 12th of February 2025 on the approval of senators to serve in the various standing committees of the Senate and pursuant to Standing Order 197, 199, and 228, following the nomination of the SBC, the Senate approves the nomination of Senator Joe Nyutu to serve in the Committee on the Labor and Social Welfare to replace Senator Gloria Orwoba. This is a very straightforward issue, Mr. Speaker. It's just about replacement of a colleague who has ceased being a senator. It's a matter of public knowledge. And therefore, given that this Labor Committee is an extremely important committee that handles critical matters, we felt as SBC that it will be unfair to continue with less membership. So that's why we are making this request. I'll request the senator for... I'm not sure he knows what... Mr. Speaker, I want to request...
Are you being distracted by...
Yeah, I'm being distracted.
Senator and you're falling prey.
Allow me to request the senator for Laikipia, Senator Kinyua, to second, because at least he has been in the House and he knows what is happening. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyua.
Mr. Speaker, naunga mkono mswada huo kwa sababu ni mwenyewe unasema ya kwamba kamati ni mpaka ziwe na watu ambao wamewajibika, watu ambao wanaweza kujadili masuala kwa kindani, na hasa hiyo kamati ya ufanyikazi. Nashukuru, naunga mkono.
Sanjit, at times you can make access to this other side of the house. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that, notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on 12th February 2025 on the approval of senators to serve in various standing committees of the Senate and pursuant to Standing Orders 197, 199, and 228, following nomination by the Senate Business Committee, the Senate approves the nomination of Senator Joe Nyutu MP to serve in the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare to replace Senator Gloria Orwoba. I can see some members want to speak to this motion. Senator Medhu. Is that the mood of the House? Let us first confirm that we have quorum. Oh, 2 minutes. But meanwhile, the mover can reply. Just reply. Say you reply.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to reply on the addition of Senator Joe Nyutu to this committee because of reasons that are well known to the House, that we need people who can serve in committees, Mr. Speaker, and provide guidance. Mr. Speaker, this is not a very complicated matter, and given that we have sufficient quorum required to transact this business, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply.
I'm a good man.
Yeah, we have senators, all the senators. Senator Medhu, you have done a commendable job to work. You know you are working on behalf of Senator Mboni Karwale. I think you should get that promotion. Okay, senators, I propose the question that, notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on 12th February 2025 on the approval of senators to serve in the various standing committees of the Senate and pursuant to Standing Orders 197, 199, and 228, following nomination by the Senate Business Committee, the Senate approves the nomination of Senator Joe Nyutu, MP, to serve in the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare to replace Senator Gloria Oloba. As many of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next, Honor.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Health on the inspection tour of health facilities in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana counties. Resumption of debate interrupted on Tuesday, 5th August 2025.
Senator Mariam, you have a balance of 54 minutes. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, yesterday I left when moving the report of the Standing Committee of Health in inspection of the tour of the health facility in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana County. Madam Speaker, during the visit, Madam Speaker, the committee obtained the need for corporations and corporates to ensure the effective functions of the devolution health functions, to strengthen the oversight over the utilization of the resource allocated to the counties for the health purpose. There needs to strengthen the oversight role of the county assembly at the local level to improve the accountability and the service delivery. For example, conducting regular inspection visit in the county health facilities. So far, we have visited 18 counties, Madam Speaker, and also we have to also proactive scrutiny of the county procurement process, and particularly related to the procurement of drugs and medical supply. The committee further observed the counties has started the capital incentive and health projects, whose construction has since stalled. Those operationalization was yet to be realized. Further, there are needs to ensure that the primary health care facilities, e.g. dispensaries, which has been established during the early years of devolutions, were made operationalization. Trans Nzoia County, for instance, first installed project estimated to be valued 2.5 billion. Notably, the 1.6 Trans Nzoia teaching referral hospital, which remain incomplete despite 98% of the contract sum already paid. And this hospital was intended to provide specialized medical service, but as a time of preparing this report, it was far behind the schedule and casting the doubt on its completion. Madam Speaker, the committee noted most health facilities did not have the requisite number of the health care personnel working in the critical department, maternity, emergency, and specialized care units, and that various departments in the hospitals were faced with a high workload and staff shortage. The health facilities phase and staffing and lack of qualified personnel to operate a new infrastructure and further delay in operationalization even when the construction is complete. The staff shortage retirement exhibited by the retirements and resignations, deaths, and non-implementations of approved staffing establishment by the county government, leading to the demotivations and the poor service delivery. The committee also observed that the lack of the three-phase electricity had to be the county being unable to utilize specialized equipment, CT scan machines and meds equipment. More broadly, many healthcare facilities in Kenya lack reliable and sufficient electricity to support a modern model medical apparatus, and it is estimated that approximately 26% of the health facilities nationally lack the electricity. There is therefore a need for the counties to prioritize the procurement and installation of necessary electrical components like transformer and the step-down switch to enable the use of the specialized equipment. The committee further notes that the need for the counties to address low moral amongst the community health workers arising from the failure to pay stipend in timely manner. The committee also found that the poor security measures at most of the facilities observed, including lack of incomplete fencing, lack of CCTV surveillance system, and pose the security risk to the patients, health workers, and valuable medical equipment. There are therefore needs to improve security measures at the county health facilities. This, Madam Speaker, this issue of security which end up in patients losing their life, Madam Speaker. In the light of the above, further noted that the cross-cutting challenges of the committee recommend the county government of Trans Nzoia, Turkana, West Pokot County should ensure the proper security infrastructure for proper security measures. Secondly, that to enhance accountability and own source revenue, all the revenue collected pointed in all the public facilities should be automated, and further ensure that the operationalization of the facility improvement legislation. Thirdly, the committee further noted that in collaboration with the county public service board, there should be a regular recruitment of the health workers and promotion in equal measures to enhance the continued supply of the workforce and ensure the work's morale. Fourthly, respectively, the county should pursue a venue to actualize the employment of the health workers on the contract to internship terms so as to temporarily cure the huge staffing gaps. The county assembly and the county executive should be disarmed from relocating fund meant for the healthcare, particularly with regard to the fund embarking for the development so as to ensure the continuity of the projects to complete. Madam Speaker, the committee wishes to extend its appreciation to the county, Trans Nzoia, Turkana, West Pokot counties, and the respective executive committee members for their inputs, submissions, and evidence produced during the oversight tour. Further, the committee extends their appreciation to the Speaker of the County Assembly in the 3 counties and the members of the County Assembly Committee for their facilitation and participation. The committee is also grateful to the members of the staff and other stakeholders in the healthcare facilities visited during the tour for the submission, which has greatly enhanced the evidence and analyzed during the process of this report. Madam Speaker, finally, I acknowledge appreciate the member of the committees for dedications and the commitment during the gathering of the evidence, drafting of these reports, and setting out the conclusion and the recommendation. Further, appreciation goes to the Office of the Speaker of the Senate and the Office of the Clerk of the Senate for the continued support to the committee during the execution of its mandate. Madam Speaker, it is now my pleasant duty and privilege to present this report for the Standing Committee on Health for consideration and approval by the House pursuant to the Standing Order 2236 of the Standing Order of the Senate. Madam Speaker, I call upon Senator Cherargei to second. Thank you.
Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to thank Senator Sheikh Omar for the Vice Chairperson of Health Committee of this House for ably moving. She has been overworking. Madam Speaker, I remember the last time you exited the seat, we were in the same place, same setting, same actors, Madam Speaker. So it's very coincidental. I was just remembering. I want to thank Senator Sheikh Omar, the Vice Chairperson of the committee. I want to thank the Committee of Health for the good job that they have done. Madam Speaker, just to repeat what I had said yesterday, is that we need to continually encourage our committees, the Senate, to still engage. Let us go and do stock taking. Madam Speaker, I'm saying this because I'm aware next week we shall be breaking off for devolution conference in Homa Bay, the county of endless potential, to stock review of devolution for the last from 2013. Madam Speaker, I often say, and I want to repeat, that the true test of devolution will only be measured to the success of health sector, because health touches each and every Kenyan, whether you come from Mombasa County, Migori, Nandi, Nairobi, Mandera, Elgeyo Marakwet County, Madam Speaker, it touches you even in Tana River. So the success story of devolution will be solely based majorly on the issue of health sector. I want to encourage the health committee to move around the counties. Let them give us the true facts. And Madam Speaker, I have noted specific trend that is common denominator in all counties or county working visits by most committees, especially on health, specifically on functionality, the infrastructure, the staffing or human resource, and the ICT or the use of technology in the health sector, and also the challenges that is almost common, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on this working visit of Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Turkana counties, Madam Speaker, yesterday we had an issue of discussing Kwale, Mombasa, and Taita Taveta. Madam Speaker, on the issue of Trans Nzoia County, it's experienced similar. What I have noticed, Madam Speaker, on most of the counties is the issue of expiry of drugs, especially in our health facilities, both at the county referral hospitals to the county level. Even in Nandi, we have similar challenges of expired drugs. I don't know where the people who are in charge of health departments, Madam Speaker, are doing, and the KEMSA and other state actors to ensure that we don't supply expiry of drugs is a bigger challenge. And I don't know what evaluation and monitoring unit is doing to ensure they address the issue of expiry of drugs in our counties, Madam Speaker. Especially when you look at Kitale County Referral Hospital, I'm happy the stakeholders of County Assembly, the area senator was there, Madam Speaker, and the challenge, another challenge I saw, one is the expiry of drugs, and we must take a position. It cannot be that Kenyans come to get medication, but they go worse because of being administered with fake, expired drugs, Madam Speaker. I want to call upon the Ministry of Health, KEMSA, and other actors to ensure we go and ensure that the drugs are being dispensed in our hospitals and facilities are not expired. I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital in Kapsabet. You found expired drugs. I went to Maraba Sub-County Hospital, similar story. Madam Speaker, I've gone to Chepteruai, Nyayo Ward in Masab Sub-County, Madam Speaker. Even in Nandil Sub-County Hospital. Even when I visited Mosoriat Hospital, Sub-County Hospital, you get expired drugs that are being eaten. In fact, when I went to Mosoriat Sub-County Hospital, it was interesting because they had eaten it behind the kitchen so that no one can notice. Why don't they incinerate or dispose of the expired drugs? So what you see also in Kitale County Referral Hospital and most of the facilities in Trans Nzoia is the issue of expired drugs, which is common in all counties. There's also poor security measures, which, we had a story in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital where a child was lost, a newborn baby was being lost. And that matter is actively being investigated by the DCI Kapsabet, and I hope it shows that there is lack of security. You saw in KNH, one of our biggest Kenyatta National Hospitals, Madam Speaker, a patient was killed and was not the first, it was the second patient. And I'm happy CS Douala has indicated that Kenyatta National Hospital should have a 24-hour surveillance courtesy of CCTVs. When you go to Trans Nzoia hospitals, West Pokot, and Turkana, there is lack of security, Madam Speaker, and therefore, the issue of CCTV surveillance must be encouraged so that we don't see what we see in Kenyatta National Hospital, where a patient was killed. And I hope the KMPTC will ensure, and I remember there was also another lady that lost a child out of medical negligence. I hope the necessary state actors can look. So the issue of surveillance systems within our hospitals must be improved. Madam Speaker, it is very unfortunate that we are also discussing the issue of ambulance. Limited ambulance, for example, in Trans Nzoia County, Madam Speaker, that they lack ambulance. But the governor of Trans Nzoia is busy oversighting national government, and he cannot even buy an ambulance. Madam Speaker, it's very unfortunate. I saw him questioning where did the money come that was given to Harambee Stars come from. If he cannot purchase an ambulance, he doesn't have a local standard to even discuss national issues, Madam Speaker. So it is very unfortunate that Trans Nzoia County is a going concern, Madam Speaker, on the issue of ambulance. And even the issue of CCTV, the issue of surveillance, Madam Speaker. So we must agree. Even the issue of theater at Kitale County Referral Hospital, it is in dilapidated condition. And the only thing that the governor has done is to run away by upgrading Kijana Wamalwa Hospital, instead of visiting Kitale County Referral Hospital, Madam Speaker, which is in a pathetic situation. Madam Speaker, you are aware, and I want to thank the great people of Trans Nzoia, and by extension the Mulembe Nation, because they are doing a good job. Madam Speaker, what better can Kitale County Referral Hospital have than a functional maternity hospital? Madam Speaker, the Mulembe Nation is giving birth at a good rate that I think the northern part of Kenya is also trying, but they are not at that part. Because maternity ward in Kitale, Madam Speaker, is doing very well. And therefore it needs to be improved. Because if you see an average of 650 deliveries annually, Madam Speaker, the maternity, and that is why, Madam Speaker, to be fair, I don't want to appear, people think that we are playing politics. But if you cannot fix maternity wing, maternity hospital, maternity, and the people have done a good job, men and women of this country, men of Trans Nzoia, are giving us good work. You know the reason China, Madam Speaker, And US are doing well is because of population. The market, you cannot sell when you don't have people, Madam Speaker. Yeah? And I don't know why the senator of Taraka Kataya Mwenda is laughing. I think they should borrow lessons from men of Trans Nzoia and Mulembe Nation on how to execute some of these duties. So we challenge the governor of Trans Nzoia, instead of singing Tawe everywhere, he should fix maternity wing in Kitale County Referral Hospital and stop disturbing the party leader of DAP, Wamalwa, CS Eugene Wamalwa. On the issue of laboratory, there was another challenge. I think the issue of pharmacy we have mentioned, the issue of security, and even tied up to maternity is a pediatric wing. And it is important that your visitors on the gallery, most of them are still young, and I know they visit pediatrician. So we want when the children are given birth, under Article 53, child's best interest, they are taken to pediatric doctor, they receive good medical care, they grow into bouncing baby boys and baby girls. Although I had, Madam Speaker, as we go to the, from where I come, this is August, there is a lot of ceremonies around. I don't know whether Malinya will have the bullfighting or is it up to December. But there are so many ceremonies, especially weddings, pre-weddings, and we want them when consummation happens, Madam Speaker, they get a good pediatric wing, especially in Kitale County Referral Hospital. And Madam Speaker, as we go to ceremonies, I have never understood, maybe the caterers, people who do catering, why would you put rice and watermelon? Madam Speaker, those people should be given notice as we go for ceremonies of August, Madam Speaker, because I don't understand why would somebody put rice and watermelon together. I think the people who do balancing, please, especially during this ceremony season, please avoid that. Finally, on the issue of Kitale, the issue of Trans Nzoia, I am to note, and I'm happy the chairperson of roads is here, is that we are doing very well in terms of share. I think 25 million Kenyans have registered. I can see there are still liabilities. I want to appeal that these liabilities of NHIF should be sorted out through FIF and ensure that share now that 25 million, Madam Speaker. When this issue of 25 million Kenyans have registered, it shows, Madam Speaker, out of 55 million Kenyans are Kenya National Bureau of Statistics of 2019, Madam Speaker, almost a half of Kenyans are now in SHA, which means all Kenyans have faith and confidence in working of SHA. Unlike the people who have been castigating this issue, I think Kenya, and I had an engagement with World Health Organization representatives, and they were telling me the issue of universal health coverage is being taken root from Kenya in Africa, Madam Speaker. So the fact that Kenyans are now registering in numbers to be part and process of SHA is a significant step in advance to universal health coverage. And I'm happy the government has started Malipo Pole Pole, that program, so that Kenyans don't have to pay the whole year, which is a significant step in access to medical care in this republic. So on this issue of NHIF liabilities, I hope and I'm happy that CS Aden Duale has stabilized the health sector and will ensure that all liabilities that within, even on the issue of KEMSA, the issue of KEMSA debt, Madam Speaker, we were told it is above 3 billion that is being owed by counties. I want to appeal that the Trans Nzoia County government pays KEMSA a debt of 106 million, just the way we saw Mombasa, even in Nandi and many others, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and this on the issue of ambulances, we need to conclude quickly so that I can allow my colleagues to also contribute. Let me just make a few comments on West Pokot and Turkana County. Madam Speaker, on the issue of West Pokot, so the challenge in Kitale County Referral Hospital, health facilities in Kitale or in Trans Nzoia, they must be handled properly. And I want to challenge the executive, led by the governor, that the health sector in Kitale is deplorable, is dilapidated across Trans Nzoia, in all sub-counties, Madam Speaker, and ask the governor to go slow on national politics and focus majorly on what the people of Trans Nzoia elected him for, and ensure that he delivers, especially on the health sector, because that is where the cornerstone will be, and stop disturbing Eugene Wamalwa of DAP. On West Pokot, Madam Speaker, the county governor, I think the access to medical cover I'm happy the Kenya West Pokot, there was a Kenya Medical Training College. There are 175 health operational hospitals. I think the issue here is human resource, which is common, and sufficient funding, existing oxygen plant. Madam Speaker, the governor of West Pokot, Governor Kachapin, must and should ensure that there is a functional oxygen plant for access to oxygen supplement with these facilities in West Pokot. Madam Speaker, on the issue of asbestos roofs, it has been banned in Kenya. I don't know, Madam Speaker, I don't know why they have not removed. Today need the Senate Health Committee to direct them. You know, Madam Speaker, some of these mundane issues that Governor of West Pokot should be handling should not be escalated to the Senate, even removing. And it has been banned, Madam Speaker, because they say it causes cancer. Therefore, the issue of West Pokot, we have Kapenguria County Referral Hospital. I think the issue there is expiry of drugs, demoralized work staff, where they are not even provided, apart from salary, they are not given extraneous or allowances. Madam Speaker, you remember, and I know you are guests on the gallery, some of them would want to grow to be doctors. They need to work in a clean, hygienic environment. And I remember, as even the Union of Doctors and Nurses and Health Practitioners pursue, they should ensure that, Madam Speaker, the work environment, there should be gloves, there should be hygienic, protective equipment, PEPs. And I think most of us knew these things, especially during COVID 2019. It is sad, in last year, early this year, I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. And I was shocked, some of the health workers in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital was telling us when a patient comes, they have to send a patient to go and purchase gloves so that they can come and attend the patient. Apart from purchasing gloves, they have to purchase drugs. And even other liquids that normally are being given to the patients, Madam Speaker. And even they have to buy blankets. And you know those blankets that we use at home and what is being used in hospital, there is a reason that the hospital, Madam Speaker. So I was shocked that in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, you go and buy gloves and then you come. And I agree with the doctors in Nandi and health practitioners and nurses, because how can you risk your life to get and even gloves and masks? How can you risk your life to get infected? Yet, Madam Speaker, you are aware when you are infected, you remember the story of Dr. Chacha in Kenyatta National Hospital, where when he became sick, he could not even get medical attention in Kenyatta National Hospital. Yet, Madam Speaker, it is the similar situation, Madam Speaker, that we see in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. We are seeing it in Kapenguria. Madam Speaker, I want to call out the West Pokot Governor and Executive. How can they fail to provide privacy? The lack of curtains and bed screens. Madam Speaker, I thought curtains are being sold out in Isilia. Do they need a Senate to direct them to give privacy to patients, Madam Speaker? This is very unfortunate. These curtains and screens are things that the county should do. So if the governor and the county executive of West Pokot can not only give privacy to patients by purchase of curtains, it is very unfortunate. Madam Speaker, on the issue of maternity, I'm happy to note that the great people of West Pokot are doing a good job in terms of birth rate, but unfortunately, we need to ensure that both antenatal and postnatal care is given to our mothers and especially to children, including pediatrician cover. On the issue of pharmacy, and I'm happy the chair of health is in this committee, the issue of expired drugs, I think the committee should pronounce itself. We don't need, it should be a criminal offense to dispense an expired drug to any Kenyan. I think that one we should agree. Whether at referral hospitals or even at dispensaries that are 197 in West Pokot. Madam Speaker, finally on Turkana County, they visited Kangangetei Primary Health Care Camp. And on this, finally, Madam Speaker, I was disappointed because the issue of cesarean section, CS, especially to our mothers who are giving birth, Madam Speaker, I am a believer that no Kenyan mother or woman should lose their lives for giving birth, for giving life, Madam Speaker. It is very unfortunate. Even in Nandi, we are losing most of our women and mothers courtesy of giving birth because of delay CSS, because of delay access to be given assistance to deliver, Madam Speaker. The issue of Kangate Primary Health Camp, should imagine if a mother wants to give birth in Turkana County in Kangete hospital or dispensary or primary health care, they have to travel 35 kilometers to Kamatoso Referral Hospital for CS and ultrasound. In this day and age, where the recommended, I think the recommendation under the World Health Organization, we should have a dispensary around 4 kilometers a radius. But I'm saying it is very unfortunate that we might lose our mothers by giving life because of negligence. Madam Speaker, another factor that I've noted is on the issue of medical negligence. We have lost lives, and I hope, and I want to request the Chair of Health and members of Health Committee, they should give us a breakdown on how many Kenyans have been lost through medical negligence, Madam Speaker. Number 2, how many cases are being handled by Kenya Medical and Practitioners Dentist Council, KMPTC, Madam Speaker, so that I want to thank President William Ruto because in all these visits, one of the biggest support has been community health promoters. And I think the only challenge we have with CHVs in the payment of their stipend. I want to ask the Ministry of Health and our county governments through Council of Governors to fast-track the issue of stipends to community health promoters who are working, Madam Speaker, in our homes. And I'm happy when you look at the report, millions of homes of Kenyans have been visited by CHVs and CHBs, Madam Speaker, that have ensured that at least you receive treatment. Madam Speaker, there are Kenyans who are suffering from palliative care, home care, and I think with the advent of community health promoters, this was the genius masterstroke by His Excellency President William Ruto's government to ensure access to medical care is not a privilege. And I want to support the motion that has been sponsored by nominated Senator Sabina Chege, that all of us should be treated in our public health hospitals. Madam Speaker, the fact that a number of us are being treated in high-end hospitals, which are private facilities, undermines the oversight. You can imagine if Senator Faki is being treated today at Coast County Referral Hospital. The confidence and the faith and even the seriousness. Oh, okay, thank you. It normally goes there. That confidence of Senator Faki being treated at Coast General Hospital is a confidence that all public servants, from all of us, I dream of the day that a number of us will go to Kenyatta National Hospital. Although I've used it once or twice, Kenyatta National Hospital, a number of us will use public facilities. But I'm saying that the millions and millions we pay in medical insurance cover, we should give it to public health facilities so that they can be able to grow, so that they can be able to give the medical care, Madam Speaker. I am informed by an unnamed governor or a number of senior officials are traveling to seek further medical care in India, in US. Madam Speaker, we are demoralizing our young men and women who are health practitioners. They want to be treated here, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to second this motion, and I thank you.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the inspection tour of health facilities in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana counties laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 5th December 2024. Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to contribute to this report. I want to thank and applaud the Committee of Health, led by the able Senator and former Governor Mandago. I've actually accompanied this committee one time to my county, and I've seen the thorough work that has been done, and I want to appreciate that. Honorable Speaker, as a devolved function, the health sector actually, since inception of devolution, there has been a great improvement in terms of health facility, the development, facilities, and personnel. Despite having many challenges, there's improved service delivery, that the likes of KEMSA now is delivering drugs to the last mile, that every part of the country was where KEMSA is supposed to deliver drugs. However, we need to decentralize drug delivery, especially for KEMSA, to be at the regional levels. Then from the regional level, they should be having some supply chain where they have warehouses to at least be able to distribute drugs in time. Madam Speaker, my county, actually, I must say that I have seen great improvement in terms of drug delivery. I have seen that today, Wajir, we used to have 1 or 2 doctors in the past. But I must say today that we have 62 doctors, of which 19 are specialist surgeons. This is actually a wonderful improvement. And I believe with the continuity of SHA and other facilities provided by the national government, we will be able to improve the health facilities in this county so much. Madam Speaker, if you look at the budgetary allocations to the health sector, actually it's still insufficient because the larger population is in the counties. But of course, 85% of the money is left in the national government covers. We want to know why all this money is being left in the counties, in the national government, especially in the headquarters, when they are only managing very few level 6 hospitals and some research and those things. But I think we need actually to review the funds that's going for health facilities for the counties. Madam Speaker, I think we need to have a special fund. Currently, actually, most of the things we are depending is money coming from donors, especially the NIDA, World Bank is actually chipping in to support our health facility program in the counties. When we're maintaining a large amount of money at the national level, and therefore we need to, as I said it, we need to revisit the budgeting of health facilities. And Madam Speaker, in terms of specialists, in terms of health services, and I think even trainings, I think now almost every county is struggling hard to have its own facilities for training, especially in KMTCs, and many facilities are now being opened up with the support of the funds for the health facilities that have been done. And I think we're getting more nurses and more students at the health facilities that they're able to at least to help to at least to fill in the gap that we're experiencing in the health in the hospitals, especially in the sub-counties, the counties and sub-counties. Madam Speaker, I'm really impressed that today we have specialists in every county in Wajir, sub-county in Wajir, that actually most of the times we may not need to be driving verified licenses to get services or deliveries of mammals to health centers and health facilities that are far-fetched from the main hospitals. And I'm saying that we are going to now, we are already seeing many counties that came up with a facility like level 5 hospitals. Like my place, there's a big construction that's coming up now. Hopefully it's going to be completed, that the level 5 hospital is almost done. And we're already seeing some equipment through the support of other donors. I think that will be a big improvement if that facility will be completed. Honorable Speaker, having said all that, we still have a lot of challenges in the hospitals. The bed capacities are very few. But there's a lot of challenges. What happened is most of the staffs that have been transferred from national government, the doctors, the specialists, are demoralized. That in terms of payment, it's not well taken care of. In terms of, due to allocations, I think there's a bit of problem in there's no orderly kind of promotions and allowances and the further studies is actually a big challenge. Some of the doctors actually have left the school a long time ago and they want to continue with their studies. However, the funds are not available, and therefore some of the doctors show that they better stay around Nairobi where they can go to classes at the convenient time, and they run away from the rural areas, especially from my places. And therefore, we need to have a program that we can be able to support the doctors, the medical doctors who have gone to school a long time ago, so they can refresh and get specialized. However, Madam Speaker, in terms of promotions, there is lack of consideration of experience, lack of qualification. Qualification not considered, and you see most of the staff most of the hospitals have been run by junior officers, because of kind of a favorism, and that should not be the case. We must follow the ethical and the requirements and required systems like the Public Service Commission is doing it, that the counties should also have a system that they should consider things like, qualification, experience, and all these things. However, what is happening currently, the appointments are being given haphazardly and through favorism and all these things, and that should be stopped. One other challenge we have is, Madam Speaker, I think there's a lot of seepage in revenue collections. Money is being collected, a lot of money is being collected, especially since Shah has come with the formation of the new Shah program. I'm seeing a lot of money being collected at the various level of the health facilities. But however, there's a lot of accountability, and I think we need to at least to make a proper scrutiny and proper accountability so that these people, the money that's been paid by the public can be taken care of. Madam Speaker, security actually, as the report has said, is a very crucial thing and very important for this country, because health facilities are actually a place where patients are, where drugs are available, essential drugs are being kept. If security is not enhanced, then we need to improve security so that I think the hospital should have even its own askaris, so that at least we can be able to sustain, to minimize the drug theft and the security of the patients. Because what happened in Kenyatta National is so hurting that you take your person who is sick to hospital, and next day you find the person dead. This is a very unfortunate situation, and I think that's a laxity on the side of security in the hospitals. And therefore, this needs to be enhanced so that you can be able to avoid that nature of this kind of thing not to happen again. Madam Speaker, I think one other problem we have is the support to what do you call it? Facilities like emergencies that are limited, and I think we need to improve ambulances, because I know in my place we have very, very few ambulances, and because of the condition of roads, it is not actually easy to get a vehicle in time, so they can be moving patients that need emergency attention to different places of the country. Madam Speaker, I think in this sense, as the committee requested, we need to have frequent visits to the counties, so at least we can be able to see how things are moving, so that at least we can have an oversight properly, so that the functions of the counties can be enhanced in terms of oversighting, and therefore this House must take that responsibility and visit counties. All committees, I think, should now be visiting counties instead of saying Nairobi, so that they can be able to see what is happening in the countryside, and so that the public can get their service. With those many remarks, I want to support the report, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Faki.
Asante Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia ripoti ya kamati ya afya kutokana na ziara zao katika kaunti za Trans Nzoia, Pokot na Turkana. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni wazi kuwa kamati imefanya jambo kubwa kuweza kuzuru kaunti hizi kuangalia hali ya taasisi za afya katika kaunti hizo. Mheshimiwa Spika, ikumbukwe kwamba afya ni moja ya zile huduma ambazo zimegatuliwa, na hapo nyuma kulikuwa na minunguniko kwamba kaunti zetu hazitoi huduma zinazostahili, na hivyo basi walikuwa wanataka huduma hizi zirudi katika serikali kuu. Mheshimiwa Spika, ripoti hii imeangazia mambo kadhaa, na mimi nitazungumzia mambo 5 ama 6 ambayo nimeona kwamba haya ni muhimu. Kwa mfano, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza ni kuwa ipo haja ya kuzitilia nguvu county assembly zetu, mabunge yetu ya county. Mheshimiwa Spika, mara nyingi mabunge yetu ya county yana upungufu kutokana na zile fedha ambazo wanapewa, na hivyo basi hawawezi kufanya masuala ya uangalizi, yani oversight, kama vile inavyohitajika. Kwa mfano, kamati zao, Mheshimiwa Spika, hazina pesa za kutosha, na hii inatokana na kwamba zile pesa ambazo zinapewa assembly zetu ni kidogo kulingana na vile hata sheria inavyosema. Kwa mfano, Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia kaunti ya Mombasa katika mwaka huu ambao tumepitisha juzi, mwaka 2025-26, kaunti ya Mombasa itapata milioni 830 ama 50 kama sikukosea, lakini fedha ambazo zilikuwa zinahitajika hasa kisheria zilikuwa ni karibu bilioni 1 ama milioni 960. Hii ni kwa sababu zile fedha ambazo zinagawanywa, Mheshimiwa Spika, hazizingatii sheria. Tukiangalia katika zile kanuni za usimamizi wa fedha za umma, yani Public Finance Management Regulations, kanuni namba 25(1) inasema kwamba fedha ambazo zitakwenda katika county assembly kwa mwaka ni 7% ya mapato yote ya county ile, ama mara 2 ya gharama za mishahara ya county ile. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kama ingekuwa mafuatwa hii sheria kikamilifu, kaunti zetu zingeweza kupata fedha za kutosha za kuwezesha kwenda mashinani kuzuri hizi taasisi za hospitali ili kuona kwamba kazi inafanyika kama inavyostahili. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kwamba wanasema kuwe na ushirikiano baina ya ofisi za seneta na mabunge ya county, ama mjumbe wa bunge la county ya maeneo tofauti tofauti. Mheshimiwa Spika, nikizungumzia Mombasa, mapema mwaka huu nilifanya ziara za ukaguzi katika county zetu, wadi zetu zote za Mombasa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba wabunge wengi wa bunge la county ya Mombasa walisita kuandamana na mimi katika ziara zile. Walikuwa na hofu kwamba iwapo wataonekana na mimi, itaonekana kwamba kama wao wanapinga serikali ya county ya Mombasa. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hii nadharia kwamba ukifanya ukaguzi unampinga gavana, ama ukifanya ukaguzi uko kinyume na serikali ya county ya mahali fulani, hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika ni nadharia mbovu, kwa sababu sisi ndio tunapitisha fedha zinazokwenda kwenye county, na sisi tuna jukumu, Mheshimiwa Spika, la kuhakikisha kwamba fedha zile zinatumika kwa yale mambo ambayo yanastahili kutumika. Hatuwezi kuwa tunapiga kelele hapa, tunatoa michango yetu kusaidia kuhakikisha kwamba pesa zinakwenda kwenye county, na zikifika kule mtu anasema kwamba fedha zile atatumia vile anavyotaka kinyume na sheria. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ipo haja ya ushirikiano, kwa sababu seneta hawezi kuwa katika kila wodi, lakini yule bunge wa county awapo mbunge wa bunge la county atakapokuwa anashirikiana na seneta wake, wanaweza kujua ni mambo gani ambayo yanastahili katika wodi yake, na vile vile aweze kufuatiliwa. Kwa mfano Mheshimiwa Spika, nilipozuru Mombasa nilipata ushirikiano mkubwa kutoka kwa mbunge wa bunge la wodi ya Changamwe ambaye ni Mheshimiwa Gutu, mjumbe wa wodi ya Kazandani Mheshimiwa Kushe, mbunge wa wodi ya Mwakirunge Mheshimiwa Mwinyi, mbunge wa wodi ya Mikindani Mheshimiwa Madialo. Wote hao tulishirikiana, tulitembea pamoja tukahakikisha kwamba tunaona zile huduma ambazo wanapewa wananchi wao. Mheshimiwa Spika, masuala ya upungufu wa wafanyikazi, hili ni muhimu sana Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu huduma haziwezi kutolewa iwapo hakuna wafanyakazi wa kutosha. Mombasa tulipozuru Mheshimiwa Spika, katika kila taasisi ama kila zahanati ama kila hospitali tuliozuru kulikuwa na upungufu wa madaktari, kuna upungufu wa wauguzi, kuna upungufu wa wale wanaotoa dawa kwa wagonjwa, vile vile pia kuna upungufu wa hata wale wafanyaji kazi wa hali ya chini ambao wanatoa huduma za ufagiaji ama za usafi katika taasisi zile. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, tatizo moja ambalo kubwa tulilipata ni kuwa kuna wengi walikuwa wanaajiriwa na ile taasisi ama ile facility, lakini kaunti ya Mombasa ilikuwa imetoa agizo kwamba hakuna taasisi kuajiri, na taasisi walikuwa wanaajiri kutokana na yale mapato ambayo walikuwa yanapatikana. Kwa hivyo, kwa sababu hiyo ya kuzuiliwa kuajiri, Mheshimiwa Spika, kulikuwa kuna shida kwamba hata wafagiaji walikuwa hawapati nafasi ya kuweza kufanya kazi katika taasisi zile. Jambo lingine ambalo pia tumeweza kupata ambalo limezungumziwa katika ripoti hii ni kuvunjika moyo kwa wafanyaji kazi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu wanafanya kazi masaa mengi na malipo ni machache, na vile vile hata mapumziko pia hawana. Kwa mfano, wengine walikuwa wanaingia kazini saa 12 asubuhi, anatoka 12 jioni. Na kazi hii inafanywa kuanzia Jumatatu mpaka Jumamosi, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo low staff morale sio kwa wale wahudumu muhimu wa hospitali, lakini hata wale wafanyaji kazi wa CHW wa afya ya umma ambao wameajiriwa, Mheshimiwa Spika, wengi wao pia walikuwa na hali yao ya morali imekuwa chini kwa sababu ya kwanza malipo ni duni, na vile vile pia hawapate malipo yale kwa wakati unaofaa. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo lingine ambalo limezungumziwa katika ripoti hii ni usalama wa zile taasisi. Mheshimiwa Spika, tulizuru taasisi ya Shikaadabu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ambapo ua wake ama ukuta ulikuwa umevunjwa wakati inajengwa barabara ya Likoni Lungalunga. Mheshimiwa Spika, mpaka sasa ninavyokuambia kwamba ukuta ule bado haujajengwa, na vile vile pia hakuna security yoyote ya wafanyaji kazi katika taasisi ile. Kuna wakati walivamiwa usiku, wakapokonywa simu zao, TV ambayo ilikuwa inatumika pale ikaibiwa, lakini mpaka sasa, Mheshimiwa Spika, hakujaweza kujengwa tena ukuta mwingine wa usalama ili kuhakikisha kwamba wale wanaofanya kazi pale na wagonjwa wanaokuja usiku wanaweza kupata usalama katika mali na maisha yao. Kwa hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, ipo haja ya usalama kuimarishwa, sio tu kujengwa ukuta, lakini hata zile CCTV kamera pia ziweze kuwekwa, ili wagonjwa wanapokwenda katika taasisi hizi, madaktari wanapofanya kazi katika taasisi hizi, wanakuwa ni wenye usalama wa kustahili ile kazi ambayo wanafanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia kuna upungufu wa umeme ama electricity katika taasisi zetu za afya. Mheshimiwa Spika, zile ambazo ziko mbali na miji hazina umeme, ambapo unapata kwamba wale wanaofanya kazi katika maabara hawawezi kuweka zile specimen ambazo zimechukuliwa, hawawezi kuweka damu ambayo wagonjwa wanaweza kuhitaji ili iweze kutumika kwa siku zingine zinazokuja za usoni. Kwa hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, hii masuala ya umeme, ipo haja pia ya kupendekeza kwamba taasisi nyingi ziweze kuunganishwa kwa umeme wa jua, yani solar energy, ili kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna gharama ya mwezi kila mwezi kulipa Kenya Power, kwa sababu tumeona kwamba mara nyingi Kenya Power wanaweza kuwalipa, lakini huduma yao pia si ya kutegemea. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo nyingine ambalo pia nimeona ni kwamba kuna katika kaunti zetu kuna zile tunazoita kwamba kwa Kiingereza misguided priorities. Kwa mfano, Mheshimiwa Spika, tulipozuru kaunti ya Mombasa, taasisi fulani za Mombasa, tulipata kwamba katika wodi ya Mlaleo kuna hospitali ambayo kwa sasa iko level 3, na upande wa pili ni wodi tofauti ambayo hiyo Mlaleo iko katika wodi ya Freetown na upande wa pili iko wodi ya Mjambwele. Kwa hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, pale katika taasisi ya Mlaleo Hospital ambayo iko barabarani kabisa, barabara ya zamani ya Malindi, taasisi ile inahudumia watu wengi, lakini haina madaktari, haina kwa mfano theater ya kufanya operation ndogo ndogo, haina pia maternity, ward ambayo pamoja na ile maternity ward kuna ile sehemu ambayo watoto wachanga waliozaliwa ambao hawajafikisha miezi 9 wanatakana wawekwe ili waweze kukua wakiwa katika mazingira mazuri. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ile tunaita newborn unit hakuna katika sehemu ile. Kwa hivyo badala ya kuenua na kujaza yale mapungufu katika hiyo hospitali, county iliamua kujenga hospitali nyingine katika wodi ya Mjambere ambayo ni mahali ambapo waweza kutembea bila ya muda mrefu. Ushaona? Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hii tunasema ni kama misguided program, kwa sababu kwanza jaza zile ambazo na mapungufu ambayo yaliyoko katika zile taasisi ambazo ziko. Baadaye ndio tuweze kujenga taasisi mpya. Hatuwezi kuwa tunajenga hospitali mpya hapa, pale kuna hospitali karibu ambayo inaweza kufikiwa lakini haina daktari, lakini haina x-ray, lakini haina maabara ambayo ni ya kisasa ambayo anaweza kuhudumia watu kwa njia ya urahisi na vile vile pia bila ya kupata usumbufu. Mheshimiwa Spika, tatizo jingine ambalo tuliangazia na ningependa mwenyekiti wa kamati hii aweko hapa ni kwa mwezi wa pili nafikiri mwaka huu tulipofungua bunge, niliweza kuleta maombi ya taarifa hapa kwa hii kamati ya afya. Lakini mpaka leo Mheshimiwa Spika, maombi yale hayajaweza kufanyiwa kazi. Karibu miezi 7 sasa tunasubiri labda lini watazuru Mombasa ili waweze kuona kwamba yale ambayo tumeyazungumzia yameweza kuangaziwa kwa kisawasawa ili wananchi wa Mombasa waweze kupata huduma ambazo wanastahili. Mheshimiwa, tukiangalia kama masuala ya ukosefu wa ambulance, sub county ya Jomvu, yani Jomvu constituency ambayo ina wodi 3, Mheshimiwa Spika, inabidi isubiri ambulance itakayotoka hospitali ya Portrees ndio iweze kwenda kuchukua mgonjwa katika hospitali ya Mikindani ama hospitali ya Jomvu ama hospitali ya Miritini, ambako mara nyingine kwa sababu msongamano wa magari na vile vile pia kwa vile barabara zinajengwa inakuwa ni shida kuweza kumpeleka mgonjwa katika hospitali kuu kwa sababu hakuna ambulance ya kuweza kufanya hivyo. Ukiangalia pia sehemu ya Likoni, Mheshimiwa Spika, hakuna ambulance katika maeneo ya Likoni. Kwa hivyo ambulance itoke Coast General upande mmoja wa mji ivuke feri iende ikachukue mgonjwa upande wa Likoni, Mheshimiwa Spika, ambapo tukiangalia mara nyingine feri kama kwa mfano masaa ya usiku huwa ni feri moja inahudumu kwa masaa. Kwa mfano saa moja itakuwa iko upande wa Likoni, saa lingine itakuwa upande wa Kisiwani. Hivyo basi inapata kwamba mgonjwa anaweza kuchelewa kuweza kufikishwa katika hospitali kwa sababu ya upungufu wa hizi ambulance ambazo ziko. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo moja ambalo pia tulikuwa tumelizangazia ni hali mbaya ya zile taasisi. Lakini tumeona kwamba baadhi ya yale marekebisho yamefanya. Kwa mfano ile hospitali ya Chuda imeweza kupakwa rangi na zile sehemu ambazo zilikuwa zinavuja kuweza kuzibwa. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo bado haitoshi kwa sababu ziko mambo mengi ambayo tuliyapendekeza katika ripoti yetu ya ukaguzi ambao mpaka sasa kaunti ya Mombasa hawajaweza kuyahudumia kwa kikamilifu. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ninaunga mkono hii ripoti na ningependa kamati iweze kuharakisha ziara hizi katika kaunti nyingine, kwa sababu kuna zile kaunti ambazo ni za mbali. Kwa mfano kaunti ya Tana River, kaunti ya Lamu, kaunti za Mandera, kaunti za Wajir, ambako huduma hizi Mheshimiwa Spika ni muhimu lakini vile vile haziwezi kupatikana. Mwisho kuwa na Mheshimiwa Spika, na ningependa kuipongeza kamati kwa kazi hii nzuri ambayo wameweza kufanya, na tungependa kwamba waharakishe waweze kufikia zile kaunti zingine ambazo hawajazizuru ili wananchi wetu katika Jamhuri ya Kenya waweze kupata huduma na ugatuzi huo unaweza kufanya yale mambo ambayo yalitarajiwa kufanya. Asante Bi Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to make my comments on the report by the Health Committee on the inspection tour of health facilities in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana. Madam Speaker, this report clearly is a reflection of what is happening in our counties. Madam Speaker, I want to first of all commend the chair of this committee together with the team of senators who made a decision to visit West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana, because these are some of the counties that are placed far off from Nairobi, and what the committee has come up with is a very comprehensive report. But I'm going to focus on their visit to Kitale County Referral Hospital. Madam Speaker, the theater there is not having sufficient members of staff. They are handling about 50 to 200 cases per month with insufficient members of staff in that unit. The renal unit, Madam Speaker, where people go and do dialysis, is also understaffed. And the report bears us that sometimes the equipment is not functional. Madam Speaker, the maternity ward is also a very busy ward, but again, it has challenges, not to mention the pediatric ward, the laboratory, the pharmacy, and even in the same referral hospital, security challenges exist. And this is a referral hospital, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a reflection of what is happening even in Tana River County. Madam Speaker, when you look at the budget that we sent, that the money that we sent to Tana River County, 2024-2025 budget, the amount of money that was allocated for health, it's 1.93 billion, which represents 18.6% of all the entire county budget. Madam Speaker, 1.93 billion of the funds that have been given to county, Tana River County, most of it, the bulk of this money, instead of going towards helping developing infrastructure within the county, helping to develop the theater, helping to develop the maternity and the renal unit within the Hola Referral Hospital, Madam Speaker, this money, 1.93 billion, has gone towards recurrent expenditure. Madam Speaker, this is an indictment on the governor. It is an indictment on the CEC in charge of health, and even on the chief officer in charge of health. These three people, Madam Speaker, when the funds have been allocated to your department, and then you take the same money, allocate most of it towards recurrent expenditures. You go for seminars, you go for trips, you move outside the county to collect as much per diem as possible, while development infrastructure remains stagnated within the county, within the referral hospital, is really a shame. Madam Speaker, it has become so bad in Tana River County that people are constantly referred to Garissa, and they are referred to Kilifi counties. Madam Speaker, the hospitals which are supposed to be to receive our people from Tana River are complaining. Madam Speaker, it is constantly on our desks as senator that the people who are being referred to Malindi, they are always asked, we are receiving money from devolution, and you are receiving money in Tana River County for devolution. Why is it that you are bringing us your sick people here all the time? The same questions are being asked in Garissa County. Why is it that you are taking your sick people to Garissa and yet you are receiving money? And Madam Speaker, it is because what is happening in Kitale, a county referral hospital, is what is happening in Tana River Hola Referral Hospital. Madam Speaker, there's a dilapidated whole maternity wing, Madam Speaker. Even the walkways are having problems. When you have to move from the bed, the room where you are admitted, to where the theater is, and you are a lady who is in labor, Madam Speaker, even the walkways, the governor has been defeated to fix just the walkways, Madam Speaker, so that somebody who is being wheeled from the ward to the theater can actually be wheeled in an appropriate manner. Madam Speaker, security issues, which are in Kitale Hospital, they are worse in Tana River County Hospital. When you enter, Madam Speaker, you will see that the referral hospital can be accessed on various angles. The security is not proper. Madam Speaker, we need to do something about what is happening within our health systems. There are 71 health facilities across Tana River County. And Madam Speaker, you don't get people coming to tell you they are doing a good job here and there. Most of our citizens in the county, they are complaining, Madam Speaker. So I ask again, you allocate 18.6% of the budget of the county, or in figures, 1.93 billion of the budget of the county to health department. And what you get is complaints through and through, Madam Speaker. So what do we need to do? Madam Speaker, the county government needs to make or pay benchmarking visits to the county of Muranga. Madam Speaker, I have been to Muranga, Madam Speaker, and the governor there has come up with a system of digitization of the health system for the county. And he is able to say how many people are in this health facility, how many people are in this dispensary. They are able to track the drugs that are going to these health facilities. They are able to track the vehicles that are working in health department. They are able to know who has fueled what, who has not worked, where the vehicle is, where it went, where it got parked. Madam Speaker, they are able to tell from their system how many patients were treated where, how many patients went for invasive surgery, how many patients received medicines from the pharmacy, and they're able to track what is happening from the supply, right from KEMSA, when it is received in the county, and the distribution networks. Madam Speaker, in Tana River County, you cannot know how much has come, how much is gone, because everything is manual. Even the little monies, which is supposed to be on-source revenues collected, there's no proper traceability of this. And Madam Speaker, this is deliberate. This is planned, because they do not want to disclose how much monies are being collected from these various institutions. Why is it that our county in Tana River does not want to digitize? Nothing. They don't want, even normal collections like the market. They don't want anything digital. They don't want to digitize collections from the market, the traders, people who pay for their animals, the marketplace to sell and buy animals. They don't want to digitize lorries that are passing through the county. It's because it has become a cash cow. People are stealing money left, right, and center. And it is a shame that someone can run for governorship and then they end up not managing any of the resources properly. They cannot account, and they do not want to put the systems. Madam Speaker, I do not understand why Governor Kangata in Murang'a County is able to prioritize the digitization of his county health system, and we can't do it. And they're able to look at what is happening, and we can't do it. And it's by design, Madam Speaker. It is so sad that we sit here, we budget, we fight for funds to go down to the county, but we have managers in the county who do not care about the responsibility that has been given to them. So, Madam Speaker, as I support this report that the Health Committee of the Senate moved in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana, I urge them also to take time to visit Tana River County. Madam Speaker, it's pathetic because we have a system that is broken down, a system that cannot account for the monies that are there. Madam Speaker, I urge this health committee, as they are doing their rounds, to also prioritize some of these areas that are far away. Madam Speaker, as it has been said by previous speakers who have taken the floor, that what needs to be done, apart from proposing corrective measures, we also need, Madam Speaker, to have people charged and taken to court for criminal negligence. Some of these officers who are working, they are so irresponsible that you can't imagine, Madam Speaker. You are a chief officer, you are a CEC, you are a governor, and you have all these health facilities, health is devolved, but you don't visit hospitals. There's no system of even just looking that this time we shall be in this ward, this time we shall be in this ward, to just check what is happening within the counties. So, Madam Speaker, I think criminalization of negligence was an offense that was put there. There's criminal negligence, and more people need to be charged with these offenses, especially about health, so that our people can benefit from the monies that we fight for here in the Senate, and then we ensure they go to the county assemblies. And Madam Speaker, I support this report on the visits to West Pokot, to Trans Nzoia, and to Turkana counties, with an urge, as I urge the committee to also move to other counties, including Tana River County. And as I urge the committee also to seek more tougher measures against officers whom we send money and they don't do what is expected of them. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support the report of this health committee. I thank you.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sorry, I also raised to support this report by the Committee on Health. And Madam Speaker, I belonged to that committee before committees were reorganized, and I had the benefit of visiting several medical facilities in this country, Madam Speaker. And although the report in question is about Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Turkana counties, Madam Speaker, but the problems and challenges that we encounter in these hospitals are almost similar. Madam Speaker, most of the hospitals, like the committee found in Trans Nzoia, do not have adequate security walls. And this is a challenge because, Madam Speaker, especially in the light of the murders that have been happening in Kenyatta National Hospital, this is a challenge to the security of patients who may be admitted in the wards of this particular hospital and other hospitals, Madam Speaker. And so I think it's important that we call upon all the governors and their executives in charge of health to see to it that hospitals are well secured, Madam Speaker, in order for any patient that may be admitted in these facilities to be safe. It is very sad, it could be very sad that somebody goes to a medical facility to seek wellness, only for them to lose their life while in hospital. It beats all logic. And so security of medical facilities, Mr. Speaker, is something that all counties need to work on. We also have a challenge when we don't have these security walls, because patients could also escape without notice, because sometimes a patient could have bills, sometimes a patient could be disturbed mentally, and they could actually run away from the facility, which again would cause untold suffering to the families of such patients. And so security walls around hospitals and surveillance must be something that the counties should invest in. Availability of ambulances, Mr. Speaker, and I have raised a statement here which has been expedited on by the Committee on Health regarding deaths that happen, especially one particular death that happened in our county resulting from lack of an ambulance when the patient was supposed to be able to be attended in the shortest time possible. And so this unavailability of ambulances is also something that county governors and their health departments must look into. This is because ambulances are not stationary, and that we understand. Because of course, when you could even have 3 or so ambulances in a particular hospital, but all of them could at one particular point in time have taken out patients. And so it is important that county governments invest more in ambulances because sometimes saving a life is a matter of seconds, of minutes, if not seconds, Mr. Speaker. And so this is not a problem peculiar to Trans Nzoia. It's a problem that affects most of the counties. And I'm glad that the Committee on Health was able to identify these as one of the problems or one of the challenges that face our health facilities. When you look at the medical negligence that is there, Mr. Speaker, with the medical staff, sometimes because their morale is low, because maybe the contractual agreements are not very friendly to them. And of course, in this age of lack of jobs, somebody then signs in any job that comes around. I think it's important as counties do their budgets to allocate more or sufficient amounts of resources in order for them to see to it that all medical staff are highly motivated by way of pay and also by the conditions of the environment of work at the hospitals, in order for this very important service to be offered by people or by staff that is highly motivated and ready to deliver. Mr. Speaker, I have had, I'm proud to hear Senator Mongatana, giving accolades to my county. And it is true that in my county, all health facilities and all health activities and operations are digitized. We must encourage all counties to digitize their operations in order for them to prevent even, loss of drugs and to also control personnel, because when we can be able to know remotely who has the reported to work, or who is doing what they're supposed to do and who is not doing what they're supposed to do, then it makes management of these health institutions easy. And so it's important for counties, Mr. Speaker, to digitize their operations. In any case, this is the age of digital literacy and digital operations. Mr. Speaker, these health workers, this, if you ask me, is the most important activity or the most important service that counties offer, health. Because we can live without an education, Mr. Speaker, and I say that with due respect to my professional colleagues, the teachers. We can live without an education, but we cannot live without good health. And so I think even as we allocate monies to education, we need, as counties, our counties need to allocate even more on health. And this is a major devolved function that counties have. Because for education, of course, counties deal with only ECD centers, Mr. Speaker, and vocational training centers. So we should have enough in our budget to cater for good employment terms for our medical staff, and to also cater for the medical equipment and medical drugs and reagents, Mr. Speaker. When you go to West Pokot, there was operationalization of specialized medical equipment, and this is a challenge that we have, especially with far-off counties, that they have equipment, but they do not have trained technicians to run these or to operate these machines. And I think before a county invests in specialized medical equipment, they should have in mind and they should have taken care of the fact that there needs to be specialized staff to deal or to operate this medical equipment. And this is something also that affects many other counties, especially those in far-off places, Mr. Speaker. And I think the health committee did a very good report and noted these problems, Mr. Speaker. One other challenge that we could find when we used to make this county visit, and I can see the Senator of Kisii is here, and we visited his county when I was a member of this particular committee, is preservation of bodies. That some counties do not or have not invested in preservation of bodies, Mr. Speaker. And you know, we have to take care of the dead as human beings, because these are loved ones of some people. And so counties must also invest in this particular area, Mr. Speaker. It's an area that people don't like talking about, but it's an area that it's a facility that every facility needs to have in order for them, because, I mean, it's appointed for every man to die. And when they die, good care should be taken of them. And so this is something that counties also need to think about, Mr. Speaker. And I think the many other things that the committee recommended are good things, and things that will help service delivery, especially health service delivery in our counties. And Mr. Speaker, I do not want to take too much time. I just want to say that I support this report, and I challenge also other committees, other committee chairs, to also do their reports and bring them here for us to be able to debate and also give our ideas on what we think of the report, so that, Mr. Speaker, we can all add our minds and our ideas into the things or into the ideas that our different committees in this House have. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I support this particular report by the Committee on Health. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Onyonka Richard.
Mr. Speaker, I am quite happy to have this opportunity today to contribute and discuss a very, very weighty matter nationally in our republic. I believe that the health sector is on transition. Why? Obviously, Mr. Speaker, because now we have a new health system which seems to be working, and in some cases it's not working. Of course, we are aware the challenges that exist when there are always transformations or when there is movement from one system to the other. Mr. Speaker, I want to persuade the Health Committee, where now I belong, that the responsibility of making sure that we can upgrade our health facilities in the Republic of Kenya stands completely in the hands, or sits in the hands of this committee, and particularly this House. So the outstanding issues which exist, Mr. Speaker, number one, as we moved out, and I remember as my Senate colleague has said, we actually went to my county, Kisii, and I remember when we got there, one of the issues that happened is that all the senior managers of the facility actually disappeared on us. And we had to run around trying to find out, and any places that we were trying to kind of poke our noses into, we found resistance. Why? Because there were certain things that were not running correctly. And the truth is, you have a problem with personnel. Our personnel is mistreated. You find sometimes the workers in all the health facilities in our republic are cross-transferred without even considering how many years somebody has been trained, how far he has been educated, and what skills he has picked or she has picked, so that then they can participate in the development of our counties by providing excellent health care. But that is not the case, because, Mr. Speaker, we as politicians then are actually the culprits. We go into these facilities and destabilize them because we either want to employ friends and relatives. Sometimes we want to employ people who we can misuse to get into the murky waters of the corruption that goes on through these facilities. Mr. Speaker, you know that health facilities collect revenue, but most of our county governments don't have a financial structure and a financial platform which manages the collection of this revenue. So even when you have what is called the Facility Maintenance Fund, which is supposed to come from level 3, level 4 facilities into the county health department, what basically you find, Mr. Speaker, is that this money actually is taken and it is used for doing other things instead of improving and developing most of these facilities, which are either dilapidated, they are all of them dirty, many of them have never been maintained, and it looks like everybody who works in all these facilities is frustrated, upset, and unhappy. So, Mr. Speaker, the challenges we face in our health facilities are many, and I believe this House should be engaged and seized over this matter. If you look, all our county governments, most of them are complaining and saying how KEMSA doesn't supply the medicines. And yet, in reality, when you try and find out deeply what is happening with the KEMSA story, then you find again the same challenges do exist. The system of purchasing medicines. If you look at the facilities that we visited in the last 1 month, 2 months, as I joined the Health Committee, 50% of the medicines in these facilities, Mr. Speaker, have expired. And the reason is very simple. We don't have an in-out system that manages the supply and distribution of these medicines. As a result, what do you find, Mr. Speaker? That even the people who are supposed to be changing these medicines once they have gotten into the health facilities, in fact, they even take them and sell them to other health facilities because nobody follows that these medicines are expired or not. Of course, are there cases where the health facilities have done well and you can talk about it? Yes, I am very happy that in the previous regime of Governor James Ongwae, the facilities that were done, you had the Doctors Plaza, which was done and is beautiful if you look at it. You had during James Ongwae's time doing the Mother-Child Care Center, which is very nicely done, only that it had not been equipped, but I was informed that the national government has actually put resources for the equipping of these facilities. If, Mr. Speaker, you went and visited Kiambu and Kirinyaga recently, you will see that Kiambu has put quite a bit of money into the hospital facilities that exist in the hospital. The other issue that you find, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues have talked about it over and over and again, why are we unable to digitize the financial system in the hospital, the procurement system in the hospitals, the revenue collection system within the hospital, the IPPD? Why are we finding that in some of the facilities, you find that the employees who are there, the records are not actually kept up to date as we speak? So these are challenges, Mr. Speaker, that I think as members of this committee, we must engage ourselves. We must make sure that the visits which we make, if you look at these reports, the facilities we visited were 4. And yet, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the number of health facilities that exist within our counties, there are thousands. So my conviction and belief is that the House should look for a way on how we can actually avail resources, make sure that the Health Committee is constantly moving in our republic. The other day, Mr. Speaker, you saw when there was a story about how a patient was killed by an individual. And indeed, to be honest with you, Mr. Speaker, the Committee of Health was intending to go there so that we can begin a spot check and realize what was going on. Immediately, the information leaked that we were going there. I saw the Ministry of Health team rushing there, and that is the way it should be. In other words, our job is to oversight what the national government is doing. Our job is to make sure that the Kenyan public gets services. Our job is not to politic 24/7, talking about things which some don't matter. But you see our country where we've reached, Mr. Speaker, if we are not able to provide even a simple service like health services, like availing malaria tablets to poor people, like making sure that when students fall sick in our schools, they get medicines, they get treated. Some of the students are going to have complications, and we must be a people that are able to take care of our vulnerable. And Mr. Speaker, my honest observation is that every time we have visited these county facilities, and we went there the second time, there is always an improvement. We went to Isiolo, we saw what was there, we discussed the issues which were there. We went to Samburu, we saw the work which is being done. We were taken all over the facility. We were actually happy that the governor made it possible for us to go and look at every single item that is positive and that is wrong with his hospital. And yet, of course, when we walked in, like all the hospitals in Kenya, we are not able to deal with our septic material. We don't have well done, Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about the equipment that is able to burn some of the material that is toxic that is coming out of the hospitals. These are very simple things to do, Mr. Speaker. I can tell you that some of the things we were saying, I mean, we went to some hospitals when we were in Wajir, and you find people sitting on the floor. And yet, they're plastic chairs, which can cost 1,000 shillings. And when we were inquiring how much money does the county government have in its account, the health account, they had 12 million shillings. So you ask somebody, why are you not able to buy 20 chairs? So that the poor people who are sick, some of them are having kizunguzungu, some of them are having diarrhea, and they are not able to carry themselves along. And Mr. Speaker, people are sitting on the floor. We also saw that in Kakamega at one time. But later, Kakamega moved very quickly and they changed what was happening. So we are saying, let us persuade ourselves as leadership. Let us make sure that we, as senators, can persuade our governors and push them and make sure we oversight these facilities so that at least, Mr. Speaker, we can have improvement on delivery services, because health is one of the human rights that Kenyans expect and deserve. With those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the report, and I hope and pray that the committees that are in this House and the deliberations, Mr. Speaker, that we are having like today, surely we can go and hold a deliberation in Homa Bay as we are going to Migori, Kisii, Kisumu, and Siaya. We can move to Turkana like we went to the other day. We come by road to West Pokot and Baringo. We can go to Kericho and go to Bomet on another day. And you can see that that will enable us to have the necessary capacity to see for ourselves the challenges that these facilities are having. And finally, I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that indeed there were some county government workers who were really, really good. Some of the chemists were doing an excellent job. Some of the people who are dealing with blood transfusion and managing the blood needs of these county governments were actually professionals, and we were on cases very happy that some of them have taken the oath, that the chiropractic oath they have taken of providing human services to people who are challenged. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, that we have a lot to do, but again, we have a lot to learn from some of the counties that are doing well. Coast General Hospital was quite satisfactory when we went there. And Mr. Speaker, I can tell you that the health facility in Mandera and Wajir, both are brand new facilities, and if you went and looked at them, you would think you are at Nairobi Hospital or Aga Khan. So it's a very positive development, and I hope and want and wish that my colleagues can continue pushing so that we give Kenyans the service they deserve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to say a few things.
Thank you, Senator Professor Tom Agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with a sad heart this afternoon, this morning we lost property in Bus Park in Kisumu County when a fire outbreak brought down about 60 units, business units at Bus Park, and we are busy reconstructing and helping with the health needs and other needs of those residents. And so, Mr. Speaker, my contribution to the report on the Standing Committee on Health comes hot on the heels of something I had to deal with this morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that this report comes at a point when we are facing the devolution conference that will be held in Homa Bay between the 12th to the 15th of August 2025. And I think next week we'll all be busy in Homa Bay trying to deal with the various aspects of devolution. And one such devolved service, Mr. Speaker, is the health sector. And the health sector, thanks to the chair of the Health Committee, Governor Jackson Mandago, has made strides in ensuring that every county, Mr. Speaker, lives up to the expectations of the standard of health required under the new system, Mr. Speaker, that has redefined the provision of health. And Mr. Speaker, because now we have a transformation, or move from the initial system that had a number of issues, the NHIF system, now we have SHA, and we know, Mr. Speaker, that from the data that we have a daily subscription or registration of up to 18,000, up to 23,000, and upwards. And SHA is now subscribed to a level never imagined before. That we are at a level, Mr. Speaker, where we should be able to service our hospitals better than we did in the previous dispensation. And that not only applies, Mr. Speaker, to limited facilities, but to theater, to renal, to maternal units, to pediatric units, to laboratory, pharmacy, and even security. And that is what the testimony that we have from the visits that this committee carried to Kitale County, to Trans Nzoia County, to West Pokot County, and to Turkana counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this visit mirrors some of the facilities that we have in Kisumu County, and we are glad, Mr. Speaker, that at this point, Mr. Speaker, Jaramogi Teaching and Referral Hospital, JTRH, has now been elevated to a level 6 hospital. And its budget will move from the over Kenya shillings 1 billion that used to be in a budget to Kenya shillings 3 billion. An additional 2 billion because now it will be a level 6 hospital and it will be a parastatal with the capacity, Mr. Speaker, to absorb more staff, with the capacity, Mr. Speaker, to offer services that are not offered in level 5 and level 4 hospitals, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, that will therefore mean, Mr. Speaker, that Jaramogi Teaching and Referral Hospital will therefore be of service to the other hospitals in Maseno, Mr. Speaker, Kombewa, in Paponditi, in Nyakach, Mr. Speaker, to Ahero, Mr. Speaker, and that will ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we have a referral hospital in the Western region that will also serve other counties like Kakamega, Vihiga, Kisii, and Nyamira counties. So the elevation of Jaramogi Oginga Hospital, Mr. Speaker, to a referral could not have come at a better time because it will offer advanced medical facilities to the region, even to Kericho, Mr. Speaker, so that we will ensure, Mr. Speaker, that this facility should come in handy to help those who live in the western region of the country. Mr. Speaker, I must thank the Committee of Health for initiating the Mashinani Initiative on Health. The last time they did the circuit in Western, Mr. Speaker, they pointed to a number of human resource needs, the need of hospital or doctors in Ahero Health Center, for instance, the need for doctors in Paponditi Health Center, Mr. Speaker, the need for personnel in Kombewa Health Center, Mr. Speaker, the need for personnel in Kisumu District Hospital and other facilities in my county, Mr. Speaker. This initiative should therefore continue to ensure that we prioritize and fill the gaps in these health needs in all counties, that we ensure that we have enough personnel to work in the theaters. In Trans-Nzoia, we only have 7 nurses and 6 doctors handling over 200 cases per day. In Ahero, we had about just 6 nurses, which is way below the need of the public, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Reno unit needs to be serviced because we now have more and more cases, Mr. Speaker, of those who require kidney attention, Mr. Speaker, those who require dialysis, and therefore the committee should ensure that there are enough machines in these units. And Mr. Speaker, this brings into perspective primary oversight and secondary oversight. Our county assemblies must wake up and ensure that they undertake their role of primary oversight, to ensure that health as a devolved sector is properly oversighted, to ensure that the health committee in the county assemblies visits these hospitals to ensure that they deliver to the public. Mr. Speaker, health equals human rights. Health is primary, health is important. It's so fundamental, Mr. Speaker, that our maternity wards, our pediatric wards, our laboratories must work to meet the needs of our people. And there can be no substitute, Mr. Speaker, to good health. Mr. Speaker, this report comes at a time when we are moving to this conference. And, Mr. Speaker, it is inconceivable, Mr. Speaker, that basic things such as seats, and Mr. Nyonka has addressed this, can be missing in hospitals in Turkana when there's a budget and when there's money. We must ensure that the CCs responsible for health rise up to the occasion and ensure that health facilities in these countries and these counties work, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the report.
Senator Esther Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to comment on this report. First, I wish to congratulate the chair, Senator Jackson Mandago, and I wish to indicate that I equally contributed to this inspection visit because I was still a member of the Health Committee when this was happening. So I feel like this report should not be left out without my comment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you look at most of the observations by the members of the committee, they actually show you the state of the healthcare system in our county government, not just in Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, but so many other county governments are facing these challenges, Mr. Speaker. And when you look at the proposal, the recommendation to have the county assemblies be given more oversight mandate, this is because so many things are happening which do not actually need the Committee of Senate for Health to go down there and see. If the health committees in the county assemblies were strong enough, some of these issues would be dealt with. Because sometimes when the Senate Health Committee visit, there are very quick gains we actually get. Sometimes you go to a facility, maybe there are no curtains, there are no mosquito nets, and those impromptu visits make the executive act swiftly and put such into place. Mr. Speaker, the recommendation of having revenue collection points automated, this is one way of minimizing on losses so that counties are also increasing their own sources of revenue. This recommendation needs to be taken seriously, not by only the county government mentioned here, but all the 47 county governments, Mr. Speaker. I could go on and on, but this report captures most of the frustrations ordinary people would wish to see addressed so that they can actually enjoy the services and see the fruits of devolution, Mr. Speaker, so that we also have a health nation who can make informed decision on any time we call them upon to. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I wish to support this report. Thank you.
I believe, Senator Mandago, you are the chairperson and you will be expected to reply. I am seeing Senator Methu, who requested earlier on to speak to it, is not in the House. And so there being no other member interested in contributing, I will call upon the chairperson to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, let me thank my colleagues who have contributed to this report, Honorable Speaker of the Health Committee, on our inspection visit to West Pokot, Turkana County and Trans Nzoia County, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to say that counties should take these reports very seriously, Honorable Speaker, because the matters that we found, Honorable Speaker, there are those that can be sorted immediately by county governments. There are those in the short term can also be addressed, Honorable Speaker, and there are those issues they need to plan as they do their budget making process to ensure sufficient resources are appropriated, Honorable Speaker, so that those matters can be addressed. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I wish to encourage counties. From our visit, we found that it is extremely necessary for them to have support visits of all facilities in terms of inspection through the county health management teams, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that will ensure that small matters like curtains, seats, beds that needs repair, Honorable Speaker, can be sorted out. And Honorable Speaker, this House has done its job by passing the Facilities Improvement Financing Act, Honorable Speaker, that then allows the individual facilities to have funds that are being managed and administered within the health facility, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, the small issues that look small but matter in terms of healthcare delivery can be addressed from the resources that have been raised through the F5 Act, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that we want to ask counties and county assemblies to make sure the county executives adhere to is to ensure that the funds that have been raised in the facilities through the FIF should only be utilized for purposes of health and in the facility, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we get dismayed as a house to find a county government that has expended 5 million from a facility for a conference or a benchmarking tour for agriculture, Honorable Speaker, something totally not related to health, Honorable Speaker. We want to encourage counties to make sure that those funds are utilized for that purpose that has been set aside. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I wish to reply.
Honorable members, I will direct that putting of the question to this motion be deferred to the next sitting of the House. Now, Honorable Senators, for the convenience of the business of the House, I will rearrange the order paper, and I will direct that order number 15 be called out. Clerk, call order number 15.
Order number 15, motion, implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya.
Senator Joe Nyutu, proceed to move this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a motion on implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya. Aware that a certificate of good conduct is a major requirement for Kenyan citizens in accessing employment, business opportunities, and in some instances, financial engagements with financial institutions in Kenya, with the certificate having a validity period of 1 year. Concerned that many Kenyans are compelled to travel long distances to access this service, both for the initial application and for any subsequent application, making the process tedious, time-consuming, and costly. Further concerned that the current manual application system is prone to delays and inconsistencies, which may compromise the authenticity and integrity of a certificate of good conduct. Cognizant that the importance of introducing an automated good conduct certification system, including the utilization of biometric fingerprint verification through the deployment of biometric kits, will enhance accuracy, security, and expediency in verifying individuals' record. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, to 1, develop and implement an automated good conduct certification system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. 2, incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records. 3, establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And 4, scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. Mr. Speaker, just like the motion states, a certificate of good conduct is a very important document, Mr. Speaker, because like stated in this motion, you may not be able to get into or any employment opportunity without a certificate of good conduct, Mr. Speaker. We know as people who underwent an electoral process during the last elections, Mr. Speaker, that it was also one of the requirements that we had to meet in order for us to be able to vie for public office. Mr. Speaker, sometimes you need it when you are applying for a bank facility or a credit facility. And this is a very important document, Mr. Speaker, especially for young people. Young people take a lot of time sometimes before they get the certificate of good conduct, and basically because it is manual, Mr. Speaker. And so automation of a certificate of good conduct will save on time, because, of course, anything that is automated, of course, takes less time than anything that is manual, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, you also know that we those seeking certificates of good conduct sometimes are forced to travel long distances in order for them to go and have their biometrics taken, and this physical form failed, Mr. Speaker. So automation of the processing of these most important documents will help our young people, will help every Kenyan who wants this particular certificate to do sometimes very urgent business, sometimes to make some very urgent application for a job, an urgent application for a facility, Mr. Speaker, because sometimes some Kenyans take even, sometimes Kenyans are forced to take some facility with the bank to attend to some health challenges, Mr. Speaker. I do not want to bring politics into this, but sometimes you need, you need to be liquid at the shortest time possible. And when you get to a bank, you need to have a certificate of good conduct, which if then it continues being manual and takes all this time, will sometimes even cost people their lives, Mr. Speaker. And so it is only important that as people who are progressive, as leaders who are progressive, as leaders who care about our people, especially our young people, our elderly people, our people who are seeking facilities, Mr. Speaker, that we automate the process of this, of obtaining this particular document, Mr. Speaker. And so the benefits that will come from an automated way of processing a certificate of good conduct is something that I cannot gainsay, Mr. Speaker. They are there for everybody to see. And Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and ask that the good Professor Tomo Jienda, Senior Counsel, seconds this particular motion, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Senator Professor Tomo Jienda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second the motion on the automation of certificates of good conduct, Mr. Speaker, because this would not only be the foundation of convenience, but would ensure, Mr. Speaker, that our young people spend less time and are able to access certificates of good conduct in no time, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is doable because the ID system or the issuance of IDs, and now that we have centralized the data system, Mr. Speaker, this motion is commendable, and I second it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that aware that a certificate of good conduct is a major requirement for Kenyan citizens in assessing employment, business opportunities, and in some instances, financial engagements with financial institutions in Kenya, with the certificate having a validity period of 1 year. Concerned that many Kenyans are compelled to travel long distances to access this service, both for the initial application and for any subsequent applications, making the process tedious, time-consuming, and costly. Further concern that the current manual application system is prone to delays and inconsistencies, which may compromise the authenticity and integrity of a certificate of good conduct. Cognizant that the importance of introducing an automated good conduct certificate system, including the utilization of biometric fingerprint verification through the deployment of biometric kits, will enhance accuracy, security, and expediency in verifying individuals' record. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, 1, develop and implement an automated good conduct certification system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. 2, incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records. 3, established establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And lastly, 4, scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. Now, honorable senators, this motion is now available for members to contribute to it, having been moved and by Senator Joe Nyutu and seconded by Senator Mandago. I will call upon those who are willing to contribute to it, and I'll start with Senator Mandago Jackson Kiplagat.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a very critical motion because the document itself is a document that is required, Honorable Speaker, by not just the young people of this nation, but by citizens of this country who require verification in terms of their conduct and confirmation, Honorable Speaker, that indeed they are lawful citizens of this nation, for them to be able to access services ranging from employment to financial services, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this being a critical document, its availability, therefore, is imperative that it's made possible that all citizens, regardless of the regions or the places they operate from, this service should be available, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you consider the milestones this government has covered in terms of provision of digital technology, Honorable Speaker, the fiber network in the country, Honorable Speaker, is at a coverage that we would comfortably say this service should be available at each and every ward in this country, Honorable Speaker, because of the fiber connectivity that the government has put in place. There is no reason absolutely as to why citizens should still have to travel, Honorable Speaker, from their comfort of business locations or where they reside to look for this service that can be availed digitally, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I therefore want to urge that resources be availed to make it possible for the National Police Service Commission to avail this process, this document, Honorable Speaker, to avail a process that citizens can apply wherever they are. They don't need to travel because of the availability of technology, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is one country that has a mobile phone penetration of about 95%, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, most of the citizens with mobile phones can comfortably operate those phones, do the applications using their phones, Honorable Speaker, and also receive the documents, Honorable Speaker, through their phones, making it easy, fast, and effective to deliver this service, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wish to support this motion and ask the House and the National Police Service Commission to actually consider this, Honorable Speaker, because it is a critical matter, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the other matter along this certificate of good conduct, Honorable Speaker, is that we have prisons in this country, Honorable Speaker, which are correctional facilities, Honorable Speaker. And I think there is something critical there that needs to be addressed. When people are found to have broken the law and they are put to prison, Honorable Speaker, the purpose of the prisons is to actually offer correctional services, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are young people in this country who have been sentenced to prison. Their fingerprints have been taken, Honorable Speaker. They are unable to access these services because once they apply for the same good conduct, Honorable Speaker, the response will be, you are in the data, you are in our crime database, Honorable Speaker. What happens with a young person who has served their sentence, their time, they have been reformed? And remember, Honorable Speaker, some of these people come out with very useful skills and they become experts in some sectors, Honorable Speaker. Today, as we speak, Kenya Prisons is among the top manufacturers of top quality furniture in this country, Honorable Speaker, courtesy of the correctional services they are offering. What happens to these people who have gone through the process of correction? They have come out of those prisons, Honorable Speaker.
Mandago, just hold your thoughts there because it is 1 o'clock. You will have a balance of 16 minutes to continue your contribution to the motion when the House next resumes. Now, Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 6th of August, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.